You own a business together. Vybe. It's a hair salon. Vybe Beauty and Brow Bar, to be exact. It's one of the more exclusive salons in the Pittsburgh area. 5 stars on Google. I checked.
Oh,
Did you?
Good to know.
You check more than me.
I haven't arm wrestled since I was a kid. Yeah, we're gonna push. We got this.
All right, ready? Go. What's your most favorite thing about each other?
Like, and I have so many people send this to me because I can never remember what side my clients freaking
The
part
part.
on. But it's like, my hairstylist knows I tried to poison my husband, but she doesn't remember which side I part my hair on.
I want to ask both of you a question individually. And I'm going to start with Alyssa. What have you learned about yourself since you started this business?
Oh, God. I learned that I'm resilient.
Angela, what about you?
My boys, like, I don't want to cry. I want to push. I want them to have a good life.
Have you guys ever heard any like negative things about your business or yourselves personally that kind of come with your success?
A few little things.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to the Barbells and Bourbon podcast, the podcast that allows real people to tell real stories. I am your big, bald, bearded, barbell lifting, bourbon drinking son of a bitch, Sean. And joining me today are Ange Hodder and Alyssa Trunzo. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Welcome to our home.
Hi.
I've been looking forward to this. You're my first tandem. You're my first hairstylist. And you actually employ my girlfriend. So the best assistant in the country, in my opinion. But anyways, you own a business together. Vybe. It's a hair salon. Vybe Beauty and Brow Bar, to be exact. It's one of the more exclusive salons in the Pittsburgh area, I'd say. 5 stars on Google. I checked.
Oh,
You have
did you?
Good to
all-
know.
You check more than me.
You have
Same.
all 5. I think there's like 25, and they're all 5 stars.
Okay.
So
Okay.
good job. But I really want to hear about what it's like to own a business together. I know you guys are friends now. I want to know kind of how the business started, what your own experiences have been with cosmetology, and maybe some personal stuff that you guys might want to share with me individually.
Yeah.
So,
We're down.
For sure.
but first, where are you guys from?
From Penn Hills.
Penn Hills?
The Big Red.
I'm from Apollo,
Okay.
out in the boonies.
So were you born here, Alyssa? And you were born in Apollo?
Well, yeah. Wherever.
More or less.
Yeah.
So you're from the Pittsburgh area
Yeah.
your whole
Yeah.
life. Okay. I know you live in Plum now,
I do live in
which
Plum now,
is not even 10 minutes away from
yeah. It
here.
was like 7 on the GPS.
And you're Murraysville?
Trafford.
Trafford.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Penn Trafford.
Okay. So a little bit further,
Yeah.
but not too far.
No.
But anyway, it's very warm out today. And I have some non-thirst quenching beverages all over the place. But I also have some thirst quenching supplementation from Project One Nutrition. If you're interested, Alyssa, you told me that you're going to stick to the healthier side.
I am today.
So we're gonna fuel you with some electrolytes.
I love electrolytes
So
every day.
So Ange, if you could grab that purple
This
jug.
one, berry.
Yes.
I'm excited. This is my first time having this one, though.
It's
So
fantastic. I really enjoy it. And Ange, $1 million question.
Okay.
Which one do you want?
Well, honestly.
Does anything look
do you know
familiar?
you better call
Yes.
Bo.
So my husband loves bourbon. I don't like it. I'll give it a go. He loves Maker's Mark.
I was gonna say, where's my
So
So there's some
what
makers
is it?
behind
Wood.
me.
Woodford Reserve's right there too.
That's a
Oh,
really
he
good
loves
one.
that.
That's a good one.
Honestly, surprised me because I probably won't like it.
I'll tell you
anyway.
what. Grab that Old Forester 1910.
There's a Yellowstone.
This one.
I have 2 Yellowstones.
My
Yeah.
fave.
Okay.
You sure you don't want any, Alyssa?
I'm
No,
not.
I'm just joking.
Oh, it's like peer pressure back when I was like in high school, you know?
This
I'm
might
not
help
the
me
one.
to talk.
Loosen you up a little bit. I'm gonna have some as well.
Okay.
This is one of my favorites.
Okay.
So that's why I'm giving this to you. This is very Woodford Reserve double oaked-ish.
Smells
Hopefully you like it.
Woo.
And
Mix me up. You got my
I'm,
stir?
oh yeah, I'm gonna mix you up.
Okay.
So again, Project One Nutrition was nice enough to provide some supplements for
Greg, I'll let you know.
yeah. Greg's coming on soon.
Is he?
As you know, Pat was on a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then Greg is coming on in about a month from when this goes out. So, can you put that back, Ange?
Yeah.
Thank you.
What's the green one? Or like, what's the one that,
The greens?
or it looked like, no, it was electrolytes and it looked,
Oh, the
on
aminos.
camera, it looked, that's
Yeah.
it. That's it.
That's the
Oh,
amino
the blue.
evolution.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like some aminos too. I used to drink them.
They're good.
Yeah, same. I used to.
Pre-workout, post-workout, whenever. All right. You're all frothed up.
Thank
I'm
you.
not going to froth your
Okay,
bourbon.
perfect.
All right. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks for coming.
Cheers.
Here's to a good conversation.
These are good.
Wow.
Ange, take it like a champ.
Well, Ange.
Wow. That was just a little. Okay, I'll take a real sip.
Oh, you just let it like barely graze your lip.
Jeez, don't be throwing up over here.
Why does my husband drink that?
You don't have to finish that.
That's hot.
It is. That's 93 proof.
Oh, you're gonna have
which is
heartburn.
actually kind of-
93 proof.
Not to
Oh, gosh.
make you feel like a wimp, but it's kind of on the lower side for
Oh.
bourbon.
Okay.
We
But-
were
But it's a
at
higher
Check.
side of bourbon, like
Like
100.
120s.
Oh, for real?
I have some that are above 120.
gosh.
I can't do those because I have like
Reflux.
chronic heartburn,
Yeah.
reflux.
Yeah, that'll do
I
it.
live
Same.
off the omeprazole. I don't know how to pronounce it. The purple cap stuff for
Oh,
acid reflux.
Prilosec. I live off Protonic,
Yeah.
so don't worry, I have it too.
If I don't have one a day.
I get mad when I have to take it, and I'm like, what? I'm not going to go there, but
I don't
anyway.
have it. Sorry, guys.
Just
Whatever.
found out, actually. That's why I've been drinking that, no alcohol. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Okay.
Vybe.
okay.
Beauty and Brow Bar. How did that start?
I mean,
Well, I'll tell my story and then how we like where it took me to her.
Sure.
So I was like, I did like a career 360, like, I don't know. I left my old salon after 15 years and I went and became a barber for like 4 months. And needless to say, it was not my thing, but I'm glad I did it. I worked in Lawrenceville. And I left my whole clientele at my old salon, except for like my friends and family. And so when I came back to it, I just did a couple friends and family. My old boss was cool. Like, we're still all friends. And she had let me just like do like a day or two just to do like my close friends and family still in her salon. And then I microbladed at the time. So I
you
went
did weddings.
and I did weddings. Yeah. So, and then I went and I was working at another like salon, but not for the salon. I was just doing microblading in there downstairs, like in a room. And it was fine, but everything, they downsized, so we lost that space. And at the same time, my old boss was like, hey, I got another girl that's going full time. And I don't blame her. I wasn't committing back. And I was like, you know what? I just need to do my own thing. So
How long ago was this that you were doing these different?
This was all between 2018 to 2019.
So very recently.
Yeah, and so in that time, both of those things fell through in the same month of March. I got told that I had to be done by May. So I had April basically to finish off. So I was like, I don't have anywhere to work. Okay. And so I went, and I had been looking previously. I met actually our old landlord through another person that I knew, and his space, that it was just too big for me. I was all by myself, and it was like in November. And so fast forward back down to March, I was just kind of like, I was searching everywhere and I couldn't find anything. And I randomly, everything was expensive when you're by yourself, and I was like barely clientele left, you know, and so we were talking, and me and her used to see each other at the gym all the time, and we have a mutual friend, Tara, and she was like, you know, you and Ann should like collab, you know, that would be like so good, like this and that. And I talked to her and I said, I'm looking for a space. You want to just like go in and you could do your own thing there. She was like, well, I'm actually wanting to go on my own too. And then that's how we just started talking about it. And that's how I got to her, basically.
Yeah.
And
like
then-
we've known each other. It's not like we were ever like best friends. Like we were cool. Like
Our
but,
friends
like,
were all
our friends
friends.
were all friends.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And family too.
Yeah, family.
So
Yep.
I different, but worked at the same salon from beauty school to now. So I worked for the same people at Salon Di Matteo in Monroeville for like, I don't know, 13, 14 years, something like that. and the vibe was like kind of shifting, whatever. So I had been kind of wanting to do the same thing. So we would go there. It would be like 8 p.m. on like a Thursday and work out and complain like, oh man, like, you know, we would love to like do something or whatever. And she was like, well, I'm down. And I'm like, I'm down.
I know.
So this was just kind of like,
It's kind of like a
Yeah.
scary thing
you just
because
took a big chance.
when we like really decided to do it, like, you know, people were like, you're going to go
crazy?
into business with somebody, you know? And I said, listen, because
Even our parents,
yeah, they were like,
you know, they're like, are you sure? Like,
Yeah.
And so we were like, let's meet. So we would have meetings and we would like go over like, what can we do to make this completely fair, translucent, respectful, fit everything? Because like there's a lot of moving parts to owning a business
Sure.
and taxes and this and that and this and that. And with it, our industry, we were basically starting off just her and I. So we didn't even have employees. So it was like, how can we make this business run? I
mean, I had a clientele from, I don't know, the whole time built to that I was hoping was going to follow me. But like her situation was a little different because she had like hopped. So it was kind of just like,
yeah. And I was also doing the microblading
yeah,
too at the time, which I
you
don't
have to
anymore,
have
so
like
don't ask me to do.
certain laws to be able to practice
Yeah.
that in
Right.
PA too. So
Yeah.
she was like, there's a space in Murraysville. You want to come look at it? And I pull up and I'm like, oh my God. I used to bring my kids there as babies to music class. It was called like Music Together. And I was like, this is crazy because he had gutted like the whole thing. And ironically, his wife had come to my salon for a billion years as well. So I knew his wife and I'm like, this
So
is
it was
just
like a
like
full
crazy.
circle moment.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
And-
It was, and honestly, he was so great with us, to be honest. I mean, he really helped us. So it was like the first time I walked in it, I was like,
Oh my God. It was
like
a basement, gutted basement.
it was terrible. My cousin and my husband, he was my boyfriend at the time. We walked in and we just like looked at each other and because he took us like 2 places and then I was like holding my nose. I'm like, oh no, this is like poison in here, you know? Like, no, it was just like old and
Like moldy and just.
Yes.
it was just gross.
Old carpet,
Yeah.
And-
like there was a toilet just like in the back. Like my son, I don't know how old Christian was at the time.
just
We look back.
3, 4.
He is naked pooping on this toilet. Our landlord's there. All these, I think the
yeah.
contractor
So he
was
broke
there.
it in.
And
Yeah.
he's just taking a dump in the back of
Oh,
this
my God.
gutted building, like butt naked.
Well, I remember Bill. He was the landlord. It was over Easter, and I was sitting at my table at my nanny's. We used to have Sunday dinners, and we don't have it anymore. But I remember my family was talking about it, and I said, "No, I don't like that building." And she was going to meet me down. That was right before you came down, and because we went first, and then I said no to it. I was like, "Ew," and then I told her about it. She's like, "Well, let's just go look at it." And Bill texts me. I was at the gym. I remember he said, "Hey, Alyssa, did you think about that space at all? I really think you should meet me back down there." And he's like, "I have some ideas. I would love to like share like some visions with you." And I said, "Actually, Angela wants to see it herself. So like, yes, we can." So we met him like on Wednesday or something. And he started, she's like, "Oh my God, this is my kid's old music class." And then he started like telling us like, "I was thinking when like this here." And you had to like close your eyes.
Really had to close your eyes.
And hold your nose.
I'm really grateful
But
that
I was
he
like,
did
you know
that.
what? Like, I was like, I actually feel like
Yeah.
we can make this work, you know?
Yeah.
And he did do what he had to do to make it all
Yeah.
legal and state board,
Yeah.
certified.
I mean,
and all
the
that
poor
stuff.
guy, he literally tore a window out and cut out brick and they put a door in for me so that I can make a microblade for him. So honestly, like, I'll never forget that. Like,
But
that was,
the build out took like,
well, it was started in May. Like,
we opened at the end
contracted
of
in-
August.
I think we signed our
This is
contract like May
2019.
21st.
2019.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we officially started working after Labor
Oh
Day.
God, almost like 5 years ago
5
today
years.
we signed that, or this
Yeah.
this week we signed that contract.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, happy anniversary.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. So, anyways, and then he had a 1-man contracting guy. So I mean, it was a lot, but we were new to it, and I mean, even with state board, like we were just like,
You have to really
Yeah.
know what you're doing because they come in there and they inspect before you open. So, we were like, we put our heads together. We had a lot of
Yeah.
good people in our corner though. Like my one client's our CPA.
Yeah.
So like we would sit down with her
Yeah.
or my dad or whoever, and everyone kind of just like came up with a plan, and then
Yeah. And it
we
was
spent.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I'm gonna stop you right here because I want to kind of like wrap all this up into a box and kind of like make sure that I kind of understand what's going on. So, your acquaintances from the gym.
Yep.
You're both doing your own thing with hair.
Yep.
You have no background in owning a business.
nope.
You decide to open a business. What, 2 months after you're unemployed, you just take a chance. You find this moldy, stinky, rundown building. Your son's shitting in the back.
Yeah. And a gross ass.
Literally.
But you figured we're going to make this work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty impressive.
You know-
And I'm kind of like summarizing all this because I know there's people out there that either own a business or are thinking about starting a business, and it's terrifying.
The
is.
scariest thing.
It is. And I started an LLC. It's not, I'm not employing people. I don't have a building I have
You're
to
smart,
lease.
Yeah.
But it was frightening to do it. You know, it's like,
Well, just even creating our name,
Yeah.
like you have to make sure no one in the entire world has that name, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's crazy like
Yeah.
going through that.
And speaking of the name, so we were in her living room in her townhouse, and I'll never forget. We were like, we just had all these names. We were like, we had jotted down, and like we were like brainstorming. And I was like, I think we just need like a vibe. And she looked at me. We were like, vibe.
And I was
it's
like,
a
let's
vibe.
like
with
let's-
a Y. With
yeah,
a Y.
no, we Googled it. I was like, let's like spell it cool. So there's some website and I'm like Googling different ways to spell things. And I was like, that's it.
yeah,
And then we were like, it's a vibe.
It's a vibe. But we wanted like a good vibe,
Yeah.
you know?
sure.
The whole time we built our salon, I was still working at my other salon, but we had to keep it like so quiet because I didn't want to lose my job, you know?
Yeah, and
And I
then-
knew that it was going to happen, you know? So
And not to mention, you're probably going to have clients following you, which is going
pretty
to make
much
them
all
lose,
of them, yeah,
lose
which was a
business too,
blessing.
right?
Yeah. But so, I mean, it was like really a tough couple months of just like really nonstop putting it together, being super quiet.
So I
And-
have to ask though. So first thing that comes to mind is finances. Just
Mm-hmm.
like you're leasing a building, you're renovating a building, you're starting a business, which comes with a bunch of different fees, and you're hiring,
Mm-hmm.
you know, maybe some legal help and stuff. Did you get a business loan? Like, how did you go
No,
about?
We actually didn't, which was great. We took money that we had saved and this and that. We went into the PNC. We created our LLCs.
Mm-hmm.
We have multiple LLCs under one roof. So that allows for her and I to keep our like taxes organized and
Gotcha.
then create a joint
There's an
one.
LLC for like our girls, our business. That's what it's like run
Yeah.
under.
So this way everything's fair under
Yeah.
it and clean, and then our own taxes are clean and this and that. Just because it's too
So you
hard.
did put a
And-
lot of thought into
But
it.
we
Oh,
do
yeah.
share health insurance.
Oh, we do. We share a lot of things. Well, not like
we
that,
did go to
guys.
PNC though
But-
and like opened an account. We did put our own money into it.
Yeah. We both started off like
Okay.
investing a certain amount, and then we, would if we had
Which
to add
was
more, we could have. You know what I mean?
A blessing to not have to take
Really.
out a business
Yeah, I was
loan.
just going to say,
because
you guys are
But we
lucky
started
that.
small.
Sure.
I
Very
mean, it was
small.
a big thing, but it was
the furniture,
small.
I mean, it cost us a lot
Yeah.
of money.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
I mean,
Yeah.
we put it out of our own saved money just because we were like, you know what? Let's not. We don't need a loan for this. You know, we can make it work. So we said if we can't, then we'll go that route.
We had
you know what I
we
mean?
had
But-
enough stations too to like maybe eventually bring more people on, but at first it was literally just her and I. We needed an assistant because I had
Yeah.
been used to working double booked with an assistant. Like so I was like, I can't do, I was so scared to just
Yeah.
be by myself. So we did hire an assistant right away and yeah.
Yeah, it helped. I mean, our moms. Well, let's just say this. Let's say like getting everything ready. Our parents, God bless them, and my dad's soul. You know what I mean? Like they did so much with us. Like they were in there
Built our
building
furniture,
things,
hanging
doing
things,
things,
painting.
cleaning. I mean, we painted. I mean, on my 32nd birthday, we painted for 16 hours that day. Like it was just, but we needed it to get it done. So like we trucked it out, but they helped us so much, and they really did. I mean, with the
It helped
dirty
us save
work,
money too though.
yeah,
Yeah.
like then bringing other people in.
Right.
So
And our landlord helped with the build out too.
he did.
so.
He did. He was great. He's like, listen, I'm building out anyway, so you tell me what you want, I'll do it to what you need. So it worked out on everyone's favor at that point.
We signed a 3-year lease too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I mean, he really helped us. Like in the best way he could. You know what I mean?
But we were able to
Little
pick
things.
everything out.
Yeah.
So we could make it our own little
Yeah.
vibe.
But like as finances and stuff, like we do, like everything was fair. And I really think like one thing I always like people were saying like you guys are you sure like you're sharing like this is money like with people go south, business go
gets
friendships go
weird.
sour. And I was
Yeah.
like, listen, we said this from the jump. we respect each other. We just be open. And honestly, her and I do a lot of things alike. And I know that sounds weird, but we just genuinely kind of do. And not everything the same, but
like we'll send like for the photo shoot. Like I had saved a bunch of stuff on Pinterest. So did she. Literally the same pictures we're sending to each other. It's just like, wait, this is all the same stuff I have saved. Like we just like
vibe
are
the
Same
same.
vision.
yeah, we have the same vision. That was a big thing. And honestly, like
in a lot of our like even just like running the salon
the
or
banking,
and
and
we're like anal.
if somebody, this is like my advice to somebody, like if you do not have, and this goes for like a marriage too, like, or anything, or like that you're sharing finances, if you don't do, say, like you don't bank the same, you don't run your money the same, or you don't run the way you even like shop or do this, like you are setting yourself up for failure. But we are very blessed and lucky, I feel, that we do fortunately naturally just do things the same. So like I feel like things just kind of vibe even naturally. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not perfect, and we're not the same person, so it's never going to be the same all the time. But for the 99% of the time, we are just, if I don't even have to say it and she's doing it, or vice versa. Like
That's
it's
pretty crazy.
It really does.
Yeah.
But it makes a difference.
Like I feel like I'll drop off on something she picks up, or
Right.
vice versa. Like
Yeah.
it's thank God I have her, because I don't know if I
know.
could do it by myself.
No, honestly, I say it all the time, like it's a lot. And I think that if you having that person to fall back on, the right person, you have to have the right person. I genuinely believe that, because I do think that a lot of people go into business with people that they just want to go into business with somebody, but they're not like
They're
fully
not
thinking
thinking
it
behind the
through.
scenes.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
there's a
Right.
lot of behind the scenes stuff. And honestly, you have to have that same page. Like you have to be on the same page somewhat, you know, and we just fortunately have that. For the, and people are like, you're crazy. And I said, well, here's the thing. I don't feel that way. I feel that if we do this and in 3 years it doesn't work out, then she goes her way and I go my way, and we start over. Like,
Nothing to lose. Yeah.
you know what I mean? And luckily it went the opposite way.
Right.
And
You
see,
guys
if
are
you don't
killing
take
it.
chances sometimes,
Yeah.
you don't know that.
Right.
So
You
I think
know?
it's crazy that you guys weren't even friends before this. So you didn't even
Like
know.
we were friends, but we
Well,
weren't friends.
Friends.
you
Like
weren't,
we
like-
never really hung out.
No,
Yeah.
no.
But
Like
you-
her best friend is my family's family, and so I have known her for a long time, but we just were never like friends, and then
Right.
Yeah.
our mutual friend and good
But
friend.
people think we're like related
Yeah.
or
we have
Yes,
become
people think
friends.
you're related.
all the
Sure.
time.
Very good friends.
But it's just
Yeah.
the reason
Now we
I
share
say that
health
is
But
because
now we're very now she's my
But it's like you didn't know how each other ticked.
No.
Like as far as
No.
That's a
I think
big.
from like the
mindset
get
and
though,
stuff
like
like
we
that.
were both kind of like just did it, like I don't know. We both have like a push, like a drive. Like I'm not just we can't sit like so I think we just like jumped in
Yeah.
with both feet. Yeah. Because I remember your dad, he was like, are you sure? Like
Yeah.
what if like and we were like, nope,
Yeah.
we're doing it.
doing it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question. You might not have an answer, but so you invested personally into this business.
Yeah. The same amount.
Financially, you're painting the walls, like you did a lot on your own.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you'd still have the same passion for this business if you were handed the money or you didn't earn it? You know what I mean? I know it's kind of hard to like think about that. Do you think you'd have the same?
It would be freaking nice, but
It would be nice. I don't think it would have been appreciated. It
But
wouldn't
no.
have been
no.
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
like watching your own sweat, blood, tears, dollars, everything go
Yeah.
into things. I feel like that's a different type of
Absolutely.
like
Yeah.
appreciation.
I-
I didn't.
We don't have that, you know.
I mean,
we
I don't
have
have-
we have help in other ways.
Yes.
Sure.
But not that,
Yeah.
you know.
Like our husbands will come down and they do that, but I mean, I hate to say this, they didn't even pay for things for us or nothing. I mean, it was nothing like that. It
Or our
was
parents or anything
no,
like that, you know.
nothing. I mean, they gave us gifts. Like we opened. They were
They
like,
pick up
this,
things,
Yeah.
but they helped. They were there.
Yes, that was,
you
like,
know,
the
my
biggest
dad
thing.
actually
Oh, he
did
did
our
so
payroll
much.
for like years.
Yeah.
And then it got to be too much for him,
Yeah.
so we passed it on. But you know, they helped in other ways. But no,
Yes.
you're right. Even like it's funny, like working for somebody else and you're just using their shampoo and you're doing all this stuff. Now I see the girls like scooping conditioner and I'm like, oh, like you're just
Yeah.
when you're putting it all out there, like shit, you
Because
know?
a lot of people don't see what's going out on the other
Right.
side, and everyone thinks this, and everyone thinks that the owner's making all this money off of them and this and that. And we're like, okay, if you
No.
see what dollars go out that door, not just for your payroll and your taxes and everything else, but just to keep that place running, just to wipe the floors.
The water that you're drinking when you go there, the toilet paper that you're wiping your butt with when you
Like,
use
it's
the
a lot,
bathroom.
you know?
Yeah.
Which it all pays off for itself. It's just that people don't know that other side, especially when, which we'll get into, like when we started to grow, like it goes through a lot faster too. Like when it was just a couple people, it was like, oh, it would last, and then like all of a sudden you're like, wow, we're out of toilet
We need
paper.
more of this and
Wow.
that.
Yeah.
I just went to Sam's.
Yeah.
And everything is really expensive now.
It's so expensive. Yeah.
So the cost of running a business is not cheap.
Right.
No.
And people see the surface, right? They see the success, they see the cars, but there's a lot that goes on behind those closed doors, and a lot that has gone into that to get you to this point.
Right.
Like minus the time that we've put in that we weren't getting paid for. I mean, whether it seems like it got paid off at some point in our career, like in this business, but like we put in a lot of hours and time doing things
all
for
the
it
time.
that you're not on a clock, you're not getting a dime, you know what I mean, for that. So, in the end, like, does your business pay off for it? Yes, but are you just like, oh, I went to work today to work and make money? Like,
You don't leave and like you're done. You're never done.
never done.
Ever.
Yeah,
Like
when-
Bo complains all the time. Like I'm in bed at night. I'm on my phone. I'm looking at
yeah.
stuff. I'm texting people back, and like it's always like that.
You can't shut it off.
Right.
Yeah, that umbilical cord is always connected.
Right.
I like
If
about
you
to
run a
fall
good
asleep.
business,
Yeah,
Right.
I agree.
there are
Yeah.
people that don't message people back. Like
Yeah.
if you run a tight ship, like there's not only text messages individually, there's Facebook DMs, emails, Instagram DMs. There's people that call the actual salon. You
Yeah.
have to check.
Yeah.
All the different
People
sources.
actually will message Square too.
Yeah.
So like,
Oh, that's the payment system.
Yeah.
so you just have to kind of be on alert because what if Susie's canceling for somebody at 2 a.m. for one of our girls?
Yeah. I mean, speaking of Square and stuff, like the hours that we have spent on the phone setting them up and going through like when something's wrong or we need this or we need that, like that's like a whole nother thing too.
And there's fees.
Tons of
not the
fees.
fees, but you
Every
just have
time
to
you use a
pay for
credit card.
to have it in general. Like
Sure.
some people just use their point of sale, but we have their appointments
use their
and everything,
appointments,
which
too.
we like it. But
a lot. But yeah, anytime you swipe your card, fee. You're not getting,
yeah. So I mean, there's a lot that goes into like those things too.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to hear how kind of each you got into the cosmetology. Did you both? So when did you guys actually go to beauty school? Like at what ages did you actually decide that was going to be your career?
I looked at beauty schools in high school, but I felt the pressure to go to college because everyone was going to college, and I was like, oh my God, like I don't want to just go to beauty school and then
Have nothing
have a
to fall
job
back
and
on,
everyone's
yeah.
going to 4-year or whatever. So I was actually going to go to Clarion and then literally had a sick feeling about it, backed out, enrolled in like CCAC for business actually, and went there for 2 years, hated every second of it, and then went to beauty school.
Okay.
And when I was there, I was like, actually, fun fact too, I went there to do makeup. I didn't even want to do hair. The thought of doing hair terrified me, but I was always into makeup. I did makeup for my senior project. Like that's what I want to do. And I don't do makeup at all. I ended up going to beauty school, falling in love with hair, not even caring about makeup. And then, so what is that? Like
So you decided
19 years old.
Yeah. So you decided that was going to be your career path. Pretty young.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Alyssa?
I actually went in high school. Penn Hills had a VOTEC at the time. So I did it 10th, 11th, 12th grade. And then I worked also in my old salon, Step Up Styles, that I started in. We were over small on Salzburg Road, up by Miller's Lane or something like that. And it was just the little tiny place. And it was me and a couple other girls. And we loved it. And then as soon as I graduated, which 17 years ago this year, like this summer, I got my license in 2007. And then I had a chair, but I didn't have a clientele right away. So I had some because working there for 3 years, I had known a lot of my boss's clients, and she was so busy that she would overflow onto me, or like I did have a big family and friend group, so a lot of my friends started coming to me. We were, I think I was 19 when I got my license. I turned 19 that summer that I graduated, and so I guess I've been behind the chair now for 17 years, about, yeah.
Same age too.
So
Wow.
yeah, and I
I think I had like 30 days of beauty school left when I started working at Salon de Mateo.
yeah.
Okay.
Took my license, but I also had to assist.
Which you learn
for
a
long
lot.
time.
You learn a lot in the salon.
You think that
not-
you like go to beauty school and you're like, I'm so good.
You
like,
don't know nothing there.
You don't know nothing.
It was just to get the book
shit.
work, and
You're
to get
like,
Yeah.
wow.
It's the
like
theory of it.
Yeah.
you
right?
watch
The
them
thi-
actually doing hair at the salon, and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Which is
yeah.
crazy that you say the theory of it, because we had theory. There's two parts to a state board when we went. Okay, you had to take a theory test, and then you had to take a practical test. So you
Which
had
they
to do
don't have to
hands-on.
do
They
now.
don't do that anymore,
Right.
Crazy.
which is stupid. How are you gonna let someone?
Right.
That's
Those people
Back
were
in the old
insane.
days.
Back in the
I mean,
old
don't get me wrong. It
dinosaur
was
days.
all mock stuff, and back they were
Yeah,
making
but
us
like
wrap
literally,
a perm on there. But
they
it's
made
still,
you sweat with sanitation.
Oh my
and,
gosh.
Oh my god, it was so intense.
and on top of it, the stress that I had to pack my kit.
You had to pack it a certain way. I mean, it was
I'm
like
not even kidding you.
Things
That
have
that,
changed.
that took me over. The
now
packing
these
the-
girls have to take the test, which the test is hard too.
Yeah.
Sure.
Don't get me wrong, because it could be
No, the theory test is hard. The,
very
the
hard.
diseases, and
the state board. Like
Oh,
you
it's
have
a
to
lot.
know all of the things, funguses.
yeah.
But
But anyway, like, so they don't have to do that anymore. But we had to do that back in the day. But also, the industry is so different now.
So different.
People, when we started, like, we double booked. You would book one after another after all in between, and we still we work that way still to a degree, depending on like the
What you
service.
have.
You know what I mean? There's some people I can't double book with, which is
Yeah.
I like that actually. But they don't. People don't work like that anymore. We worked 5 days a week, and like people want to work 2 or 3 days a week doing this, which is it's not a bad thing. It's a work-life balance, I guess, to a degree. But
it's long days. It is
Yeah.
long days, like on our feet.
On
like
your feet, yeah.
When I go home
Yeah, I'm tired.
after the salon, I'm 10, 11
especially
hours.
getting older.
Wow.
I'm like, wow, this is
Same.
the same person that used to go to the gym after, and then go to the bar after, and then stay out till 2 a.m.
Like
and
we
then
used
go
to
home
meet each
and-
other after work, and I'm like, how did I
Yeah.
do that? Now
did
I'm
that
like
for
on
years.
the couch, like
I go
At
home.
10 o'clock, you're asleep.
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so when we opened, I don't know if are we covering that? Oh
Yeah.
yeah. So we opened like August 28th of 2000.
2019.
Yep. Like our state board, we passed that. It was
come
like a big
in,
day for us.
Sweaty
So they
armpits,
inspect everything.
check your combs. Like,
He
yeah.
was so nice.
So nice.
That guy
Yeah.
was real nice. He don't work there no more.
No, very nice.
But
yeah, we were like jumping up and down,
I
like
know.
so excited. Like, and then I was like, oh my god, wait.
I was gonna say, like, it's game time,
Yeah.
right? Like, yeah, you
Then I
did
was
the
like,
thing, but
I
now
gotta
you
tell
have
my-
to make
I
it.
gotta tell my boss.
Yeah. How did that go over?
Well, all day long I was like unwell.
So you're starting a
It's a
business
Thursday.
under their nose.
Yeah. Which sounds terrible.
No,
And I wish so badly that I could have been open, but I knew it was not going to go well.
right.
So it's a Thursday. I'm like, all right, I'm just doing it. At the end of the day, I was like, I have something to tell you. He was actually very nice, very, I knew you'd always do something like this. I kind of thought maybe you and Bo would open like a gym salon kind of thing together. And I was like, yeah, like it's in Murraysville, whatever. And I was like, do you want me to finish out my shift on Saturday and then be done? And he was like, that's fine. So I left there and I cried and I was like, oh my God, like it went so well, 45 minutes later, I get a text. I guess he must have went home to his husband or whatever. And he was like, you know what? The more I thought about it, like you need to come get your things tomorrow. Like you're like done. And I had a full book on Saturday. So I was like, shit, so I was like, all right, no worries, So go in there Friday, get all my stuff, text all my people. Every single person came to the new salon, but like, it's like I never did hair before because it's a new spot. Like
Sure.
I was just in a full blown panic.
Why do you think he had the change of heart?
I think because his partner does not. Yeah. I mean, from there on, they have blocked me on everything.
So it wasn't technically his
I haven't even
opinion
seen
of
them
you.
in almost
He
5
was
years.
influenced.
I think so.
That's bullshit.
Unfortunately, because, you know, he's almost 70. I learned so much from him. I wish so badly I could be like, come look at the salon or just
look what we've created.
Yeah, like but it's not like that, and that's okay.
Sure.
They actually shortly after moved to Murraysville as well. Downsized, got rid of the entire staff, so I would have lost my job actually. We gained 2 people from there that now work at Vybe still currently.
I mean, they came to us though.
They
We
came to
didn't
us.
like
Yeah,
go to
like-
them.
You didn't
Yeah.
pick them
Actually 3
off.
at the time.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Okay, good.
But yeah, like it is what it is, you know. It's very silly, but
Well, you have to do what's right for yourself. You know, and
Thank
at the end
God
of
I
the day,
did.
it's business.
100%.
And you know, you have a heart,
Yeah.
which is good.
Right.
You know, of course, you feel bad.
You know, some
but-
people decide to open a business. Some people go work for other people. It's not for everybody, you know, and that's okay. But for me and where I was at in my life, it was like best for me and my kids. And thank God that we did. Like I said, I would have not had a job had I stayed because they were planning on downsizing themselves. So it all worked out.
Isn't that crazy how things work out?
It is crazy how things work out. But
So when we opened, I was so in May I had to leave my old salon. Like basically I was just working there like 1 or 2 days a week, but you know, I finished off there, left on good terms, you know. I mean, obviously like she told me, you know, she needed the station and that was fine. I totally was respectable about that, and but everyone was on good terms. And then I was at Artisan doing eyebrows too at the time, and you know, I talked to her too because I was like, you know, I didn't plan to go so close to anybody. I didn't want to step on anybody's toes. It wasn't like that. I just wanted to do my own thing, work for myself. That was my intention. It wasn't to even grow this huge business or anything like that, you know. But so, and she, you know, I remember sitting down with her and she said to me, you know, I respect that you came to me and told me the truth and said that, because a lot of people would just like lie, or they would like do it under like, you know, and this and that. She's like, and I really respect that. And I was like, you know, here's my thing. I said to everybody, this is what I'm doing. If you have a problem with me, that's on you. I don't have a problem with you. I you know, I hope that we can all remain in no bad blood, you know, this and that. And so for me, that was my time in my life that I was like, I'm doing what's best for me. So, but it was fine because they were downsizing too. Like everyone's making shifts in their businesses. So it was just a weird thing. So I rolled with it. I did not have anywhere to work. And I couldn't go work in a salon while I was opening another one, because who was going to hire me and say like, hey, I'm in the middle of opening my business right now. You got a spot for me. Like, so I actually had just moved back into my parents' house at the time. And my dad was always like, yeah, do it, you know. And he's like, why don't you just do it here for now? So I set up shop in my house. I should say this. Anyways, I did friends and family for the most part.
Yeah.
A couple like really long-term clients. Anyways, it was a couple months I had, but you know what? That like, you are never
It's so
more
hard to do your hair,
appreciated after you wash some people's hair in a sink. Okay, and you try to do
That's how it rolls here.
yeah. I mean,
I was
it's like
that's so cute.
I was really like, I mean, I was scared, honestly. And then I was, you know, but I'm so glad. I have so many weird memories of my dad, like walking in from work and he'd come in and he'd be like talking to my clients and, oh, I'll order pizza and, you know, this, that. And I mean, I was full blown, like, had a schedule all day.
Yeah.
So my house was like off limits,
Hustle
you
and
know?
bustle.
So anyways, come the time I was like, can I get in that salon right now? I need to be in my chair, you know? So I did. And honestly, I have to say, I feel as soon as I opened those doors and I started working in there, I don't feel like there was a day that I was ever really not booked.
Same.
Like I went in there, even with barely no clientele, and like, people were calling and
Same.
texting, can I come in?
That's crazy.
And it was like it was like a really surreal type of feeling, because I was scared. You know, I'm like, oh, I hope I'm like, you know, I hope I'm gonna have people, because, you know.
See, what I picture is you open the doors, right? And you guys are just like sitting around waiting for the phone
Oh no,
to
it
ring.
wasn't like that at all.
Waiting for someone to walk
Like
in
immediately
the door.
busy.
That's crazy.
I mean, like
Wow.
busy.
I don't think I like literally what she just said. I think it was just like, and I remember like setting up payroll for myself, and my dad was like saying like what you were going to get paid like every 2 weeks. And I was like, what if I don't make that much?
Yeah.
Like, what if I like, and now it's just wild.
So you had like a cap of like what you had to make
Well, we
to
had
keep the
rent.
business
money
going?
over.
But so you issue yourself payroll just to help on taxes.
Okay.
So like I get like a paycheck every 2 weeks.
Yeah, we do.
And then you pay taxes on it so that when you pay taxes, it's not
Yeah,
as
yeah.
much.
Not
You know what I'm
everybody
saying?
does that, but we chose to.
That's
like,
We
smart.
chose to do
we
it.
give
Yeah.
ourselves a W-2 ourselves, and then there's the business side and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Too.
Yeah, otherwise you're forking out tens of thousands of dollars
Yeah.
in taxes after each year.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's yeah.
It's a lot. But yeah, and I just think it was. I mean, we had a grand opening party, and I couldn't believe how many people showed up, and I mean, everybody. I feel like, and all these local business owners. I mean, everybody has a great. It seems like their businesses are thriving too, and I think it's great. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's so many popping up everywhere, and I feel like it's cool. Like everyone's just do their thing. Like that's what it got to.
Right.
Like
People will be like, "Oh, do you see? There's another salon." Like,
no,
it's okay.
it's
you know?
fine. Like because whoever's here, like as long as us and our staff are
Doing what they need to do.
doing our
you know?
thing. Like, I mean, we're only so many people too. So like,
Right.
you can't have everybody.
Right. Like
You know?
we're at the point where we really don't take too many new clients unless they're willing to wait.
Yeah.
We give a lot of people to our girls, which
Yeah.
is great, you
Yeah.
know.
So you're not afraid of your competition
No.
by any
No.
means. Yeah, I think you guys have established your
And
clientele.
not in a
and-
cocky way at all. Like, just like in a way of like,
yeah. Even if
I
it
just
wasn't a
feel like-
cocky way, that's fine.
Right.
Yeah, no, just like, I'm glad to do your thing for everybody, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
like,
I think Murrayville is like the salon capital of Western
Literally,
PA.
there's
Yeah.
5,000
It's
salons.
like every other block.
Yeah.
There's a salon.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
So what do you think makes a good hair salon? Like what makes you different to pull those people in that could just walk down the street another block and pick that salon? What do you think is that pull for people?
I think
I mean,
our aesthetic is
appeal.
like cute and like clean. We're so
Yeah.
clean.
Yep.
Like so clean. And ask Maria. She's,
Oh yeah,
She's a cleaner,
she's the
man.
cleaner.
Oh,
I
yeah.
I
love her.
love her
I
for
love
that.
her.
She is.
And I think like
My mom loves it too. For my mom give
Yeah,
when
your
my
mom's
mom
a
gives
cleaner.
compliments,
That's
though,
Diane.
Diane.
Yeah,
When
I
Di gives the
met her at
compliments,
Target.
like you're doing good because she's tough. She's an old
She's
Italian
tough.
lady, like not old, but she's like a
Yeah.
full-blooded Italian lady that she's just straight shooter nowadays. I don't know if it's her age or what, but she's like, but she's like, no, she's so good. She's a cleaner. She's running me.
Yeah, she
She
Uh-huh.
is.
She doesn't sit.
no, she does not.
Yeah.
So
Our staff, I think, are
Our staff.
Um,
I think like what we like. Well, we offer a lot of things
Yeah.
too. So I think like we do the eyebrows, the lashes. We do a lot of hair extensions and a lot of like I feel like modern color services that people are looking for. Like anytime anyone wants their hair done, they're showing you a picture of Instagram, Pinterest.
yeah.
So we've all evolved to be able to do those services. I think that's another thing too. We're working on our social media. We're trying to clean it up and make it look better. But I think, people they'll come in and they'll like, I like this picture that
Yeah.
so-and-so did, or maybe that, I don't know.
So how much actual marketing do you kind of rely on as far as
Well,
advertising and stuff?
Let's put it this way. We've been almost 5 years open in August, and we've never had a website. But we are getting one, okay? It's coming.
It's
It's
coming.
coming.
It's
But
coming.
we just use social media, and
Social
honestly,
media.
we really didn't. All we did was just post our own work. It was never like we had. I mean, we do have
We
some
didn't-
people
no
like
ads or
cleaning up,
anything like
but we
that.
never did ads. We never did anything like that, and it was just like it was all
That's pretty
word of
incredible,
mouth,
yeah.
Instagram. Honestly,
mouth.
Honestly, our Facebook sucked. Like it was. I mean, no, and because that's a second job.
Oh my gosh.
Doing social
It's so
media is a
hard.
whole
I get
other
it.
job.
You
Oh
get
my,
it.
I
Yeah.
get it, yeah.
It's so much.
I mean,
Like,
it's a lot. So
after
I
working
mean,
all day and then like, oh shit.
Yep.
Yeah,
You got to
we have
make
to
a post
post-
or a story or a
Not
reel.
just her and
Yeah.
I now. It's
all the
girls.
girls.
We
Yeah.
have to post all their work too,
Yeah.
So, and the reels and just keeping up with
Yeah.
the modern aesthetic of things is hard.
I also feel like we offer like little snacks and waters and
We have wine.
we do like wine, yeah. If we do
Yeah.
the coffee, if we do like funny things too, like we're like, oh look at that tray they could put on their things, so they can put their laptops on it. Like
yeah, we have like
we're
a
always,
little tray that you can work on.
We're always like thinking of like little stupid things that
Make your like
experience a little
Make
bit
things
better.
more
More
convenient.
enjoyable,
and-
yeah.
Or like if you need to work there, like
we have Wi-Fi.
yeah. Join Wi-Fi.
Free Wi-Fi.
Free Wi-Fi.
I mean,
Forget
I'm
Starbucks.
sure a lot of places do things like that too.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's like something that we do there. And
Her and I are also present.
yes, that is a big thing.
That's a big thing. So
We're there.
We're there. Like,
You're not.
very rarely we're both off at the same time.
Yeah.
And if we are, it still runs
Fine.
ship shape because our girls are fantastic.
Yeah.
But we are present as well. So I think people like that. They like to see who's in charge. If a situation arises, they can jump in, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of business owners that, you know, they get to the point where they've established all the employees to do their job, and then they sort of slowly back away
Right.
and just let everyone else run the ship, like you said.
Yeah. You know, and that's the thing. That's another thing that people I don't think understand. Like, we are full time behind the chair, and we run the business. And like, luckily, we have each other, so we do help. We have help because we have each other. But a lot of people that run as you grow, and there's more people. I mean, let's put it this way: like, the more people, I mean, there's just way more to do. You know, and then there's way more not to do too, because like once you have your assistants efficiently running, like they pick up on certain things. So I mean, it's so dumb, but in the beginning, like me and her and my mom and her mom would go down and clean for 6 hours. I mean, scrubbing baseboards and floors and this and that because we got to do it. But now we can have a cleaning lady help us do that. So like eventually you get to the point where you do get some help, but we are full time behind a chair. So we're not just operating a business. We're not just managing people. We are literally working too full time, and with clients that you have to be for. And I mean, sometimes you get pulled in different directions, and I feel
lot
like
of times.
that's like a big part for me personally, where I feel like I get like overwhelmed a little bit, you know, where I'm
there
like,
are times we're like working, say like a Thursday when everyone's there, and I stop and I'm just like, holy shit. Like this is ours, and like it is popping.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It has to feel amazing.
It does.
does.
It
It
does.
has to.
It's
you
like
walk in
as
some days and you're
overwhelming
like,
as
you
it
see
is.
everything going, and you're just like, like you're always you're always going.
then
going,
I
so
get
you don't-
anxiety too, like, but wait, this is ours. Like,
Yeah.
shit. Like,
Yeah.
We got to keep up with this shit.
Yeah.
Because like you stop and you look at it and you're like, and if you actually take it in for a moment and you're like, wow, like I remember there's nights I'm leaving and I shut the door and I just like look back and I'm like, thank you, Lord, for me. I'm like, thank you, Jesus, for another day. And like having, you know, there's days I'm literally driving to work and I'm having a bad day myself and I'm thinking like, I can't believe I have to do this and da 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 for me. And I'm like, but wait a second, how lucky am I that I get to go to my business and get up and actually work another day. So I try to like reframe my thought process of it, that I'm grateful.
Yeah, I was going to ask, as busy as you guys are, not to cut you off,
Yeah.
do you ever give yourself time to appreciate what you've
We are
created?
now.
Yeah.
I think more.
It probably took time to get
I'm
to that
starting
point.
to take more Saturdays off. My boys are getting older. I feel the pinch.
The work-life balance. Yeah.
It's hard.
It's hard.
Especially lately, I just feel like overwhelmed with all of it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm struggling between wanting and needing to be there, wanting and needing to, you know, please my clients as well, you know. But,
Yeah.
you know, like her and I went shopping the one day for the photo shoot, and I'm like, we needed this. Like we had a day.
Like a
It was
girls,
like
girls
we
day
had-
out.
we
Yeah.
haven't done
we just
that in
like
so
don't
long.
do that, you know. Like so
I said I haven't been to the mall in I don't even know how
it was the
long.
best day. Like we had so much fun. I'm like,
Yeah.
shit, we like need to do that more often.
People were like,
know?
you want to go to Panera after?
Sit down and eat? What?
It was great. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you kind of brought that up, because I think there's probably a lot of people that think that you have the easy job. You know, you establish this business, you have all these employees, and then you aren't actually doing a lot of the work. But for the fact that you guys had a girls' day out and it was weird, that just goes to show how much you actually
Right.
put into this
Right.
business. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. We do all the work. I
yeah.
feel like.
That's very admirable.
I also feel like and this might be a little off, but like we treat our employees good. I feel that we do. I mean, like we always try to have like, we take them to nice dinners for Christmas. We give them little bonuses, and, you know, we are flexible with their schedules and their time. If they want to go on vacation, for the most part, we really never say no. You know, sometimes we're like, okay, too many, you know what I mean? But
Right.
like, overall, like we don't want people to be like, I hate working for them.
I don't want to go there.
And
like,
they don't treat us good or this and that. And I mean, we ask them, like we have meetings and we ask everybody, are you happy? Or is there anything you want to tell us? Because we're open to constructive criticism too. We're like,
and they'll tell us
You
too.
have to be.
Right.
You have-
I
we
never
don't get
had
many
that.
complaints, but
13 years of working for somebody else, we didn't have one meeting. And I feel like so many things could have been squashed or changed if you just like, you know, we say what's on our minds and they tell us too, you know. Or if we feel like something's off, we'll just sit down with whoever and be like, hey, like, what's up, you know. We also, when we interview or hire, like we say like, good vibe, you know,
We're
like
we don't do drama
no drama.
here.
We don't have it. Like
No, we
our
don't.
staff is so wonderful and we get that all the time. Like my clients are always just like, your girls are so lovely. Like they're so sweet. Everyone's beautiful inside and out.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
we're
like
so
even our
lucky.
girls get along. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
we're all so busy. So like literally
yeah,
at the end of the day, I'm like, hi,
haven't seen you all day.
what's up?
Yeah.
Like, how's
Remember
your
me?
day?
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, like I don't hear anything. I don't hear it. I don't know if you've like not even from the girls being mad at each other or like nothing. So I mean,
And they're all young. Like, well, not all, but there's a lot of young. I'm like,
we had a
I'm
mix of
old.
a lot of things going on. And then my mom works there too, and she's like the older one, but she's not in our photo shoot because she doesn't like to have her photograph put on anything. But I was like, Dad, you're like part of the background of this business, the backbone, you know? And she's like, it's okay. You girls do your thing. Like, I'll just be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, like, it's a mix of everything. So it's cool though. Like, sometimes when I listen to the young girls, I'm like, wow.
Like those
I remember when I
memes?
used to, I'm like,
Like you think
okay.
that you're young until you hang out with the 23-year-old and then you're like,
They're like, what's that
just
word?
kidding.
Yeah. What does that mean? What's that? What are those letters? What?
Yeah, what?
So
You're Googling, what does that mean?
Yeah,
I can't. I
I know.
Some
I hear
of
a
that
lot of
stuff
bruh.
I
I know.
can't.
but sometimes I catch myself.
What did you just ask the other day? You're like, what is
GR.
POV?
Get ready with me.
No. Oh, get ready with me. You know how they put like GRWM, like get ready with me, and these girls make videos. She's like, guys, what is get ready with me? Or,
Or GRMW, whatever it is. And Andrew left my ass on. I was like, I know. But
Getting
I was
old.
Like,
getting old.
I don't know. What's the slang? I don't know. I got to get with it.
So I want to ask about your employees real quick.
Yep.
First, who is your first employee?
Lainey.
Our first assistant.
Yeah.
She is no longer with us, but she still comes and gets her hair done. She's lovely. She just does makeup and spray tans and stuff. So she went on to do that. And then it was Christy.
Yep. And then
She's
Erin.
From
Christy.
Salon de Mateo.
Christy Blitch.
Yeah, that's who does Maria's hair. She was like our first stylist.
Okay.
And then
Erin came too because she was like, hey, I need
the massage therapist.
She does
She's
massage.
still with us.
She kind of does her own thing. She's like,
In and
that's
out.
not
She
her
has another
full-time
full-time
job.
job.
Yeah.
So she does that like on the side.
Yeah, but it's kind of nice though because she was at the time we were switching out like a room, you know. So it's like it's easy because she's like there on days we're kind of not there, or in an evening,
Saturday morning,
or like Saturday morning really early. So it's just like a. She's like,
next?
bye. Well, that's
Was it
what
Cicely
happened.
or Alex?
That's when
COVID.
COVID.
and then
Let's talk about COVID.
That was horrible.
What did that do to your business?
We were open for how many months was that?
It started March, 2020?
6 months.
Okay.
yeah.
And then they were like, JK,
Shut
shut down. So yeah, I mean, we had to shut everything down. That was awful. Awful. I mean, I was like physically to the point where like I couldn't even eat. I was so sick about the whole thing. Just with the way that media made it, and every state was different. So you saw other states like thriving and living life, and we couldn't.
Like no one knew what to do really because we weren't even sure.
Clients
like, when we were
texting you
coming.
like, please, can I just come to your house, or can you just give me color and I'll do it myself? I mean, it was wild.
I mean, the whole world was in shambles. They didn't know what to do.
And we're like, cool. How do we pay our bills at home? At the salon, the rent, you know, everything. It just stopped. What was it, like 3-4 months?
It was March, April, May.
We were open.
It was like mid-March, and then so April, May, June, like beginning of June. So it was like 2.5, 3 months. But I have like mixed emotions about that shutdown. For me, like I was traumatized because I was like, oh my God, me and her were like, what are we gonna do? Like we just opened, like we somehow managed really well. Like it didn't like nothing was really bad. People were buying hair products like while we were
People are
closed
doing
and
what
things
they
like
needed
that.
to do to support us, which was wonderful.
I like came off a really bad season, so like 2 months after we opened, I think it was like what September, October. It was like the beginning of November. My dad got sick, and so I was in and out of work. Like for me, I was like I took a hit really hard. So he was like getting he went in and he never came out of the hospital, and so I was like back and forth. So I was very stressed. I was like building a new clientele in a new business. I never did it before, and living out of a hospital in Shadyside. And it was like December, and basically he got sent to the ICU. And Christmas Eve, we were there till 1 o'clock in the morning. We went home to sleep, and he got put on a ventilator before we got back there, and then he never came off. So I shut my books down, and it was Christmas time, so granted we were closed for a couple days here and there, and like New Year, but I was off for a month because like he was on there for 3 weeks, and then he passed away, and I came back to work like 2 days after the funeral, and I wasn't really right. So when the world shut down, in a way, as much as I went back and I was like doing these things and I was going back through the motions, but I was like crying on my way to work, crying on the way home. I had a lot of anxiety, and then the world shut down, and I was like watching all these people on ventilators. So then I was even having more anxiety.
PTSD.
Yeah, I was having like really bad. And my mom, everybody, like, it was just, and it was horrible for everybody,
Sure.
but it was, so when the world shut down, I actually like think that I needed that. Like I spent
needed a
days
break.
to be home crying, and I walked like 4 miles. I just kept walking and walking, and I just like, there were days if I didn't want to get out of bed that day for 5 hours through the day because I was sick, I did, and everyone's like, aren't you upset? And I was like, I was, because I also felt like this is my blood, sweat, and tears that could just go right down the drain. I already lost a month of him being sick, that I was off work. And then it was just like, I felt like I was just like on it, living in like how you have your dreams come true and your world shatter in the same thing until I've actually lived through it, like I didn't even know that was possible.
Yeah.
Like to literally live that. So anyways, but I was happy I had her because she would pick up for me, like on little things. But I still stuck it out. Like I'd be in the hospital paying bills, like online and doing stuff, like whatever I could be doing, like from there. I tried, making an order if I had to, during those times. I felt
Our
like
salon
sick.
staff was like still so small at that time
Yeah.
too. So it wasn't to the extent that it is now.
Exactly. So it was good. But I think that downtime was good. But in the meantime, we were like,
We grew.
My friend Alex called me. It was like, I think I want to come back to doing hair. Like, do you have a station for me? And I said to her, and she was like, sure. And when we opened, Alex came, like, started up with
Then
us.
Cicely and Michelle.
Cicely came.
And Erica.
Yep. And Michelle started. Yep.
And then, wait, let's talk real quick too. We open back up. We're finally allowed to open back up. We pay all this money to get the salon cleaned because you had to. It's ridiculous.
This is another trauma in my life.
And then everyone gets COVID, like our entire
Literally.
staff.
Oh my
But me, I don't know how I didn't get it. But we were like,
I was the first one.
We were like,
me and Alex actually, and my
so
mom.
excited to go back, and we're like, yeah.
I was like 5 days
what
in.
COVID, and then like,
And then you all have to
everyone gets it.
quarantine, and
Yeah, it was
my
great.
Gosh.
So that happened. But somehow we just freaking picked back up and then grew. And then, I don't know, 3 years flew by and our lease was about to be up. And
Well, we were running out of parking. That was the whole thing.
No parking.
There was 8 parking spaces, and there was an overflow park. There was a building parking lot over on the
there
other
was
side.
people upstairs. So he rented to people upstairs so you could park in the front if you needed to. But
that guy, like our grand opening, he was really salty. He was like, people were parking in his
scene.
lot. It was a Sunday, and he came over and like made a scene. I almost fought my husband and my dad, and
great.
it was like,
Yeah.
my dad was like,
So we
just
couldn't
leave,
park
and
over
then
there.
it was there. But honestly, it wasn't like not on our. He actually came over and apologized. Let's just put it that way. He came
you
over.
should be embarrassed.
Insane, like he was out of control. Like you would have thought we did
should be
something
embarrassed.
so
You should
bad
be
to
embarrassed.
him. We were like, sir, it's but he did. He came over and he's like, I was they were by myself that day. She wasn't even there. I'm thinking, oh, he's in here.
Here we go.
Here we go. He's trying to come and fight with me. I'm like, is something wrong? And he's like, I don't want to bother you. I just want to apologize for how I acted that day. So I was like, listen, we all got our days. I'm like, don't do it again. Like, you know what I mean? Because no, you don't want to.
Good vibes only.
You know, good vibes. We
only.
got. I said, you see the name out there?
That's
like,
right.
we don't do that. Don't come over here with that. You know. But anyways, he actually said, like, you know, I'm not. He was cool. Over the years, people would kind of overflow park.
It just got to be too much.
It was too much. So we had to kind of move. Like, we really didn't have a choice. And then
we started searching.
Well, Krista, my cousin, worked for Realty One, and one day I was driving down the street, and they built that new Vico building. My family was landscaping out there, and I was like, "Hey, Uncle Mark," you know, like driving by. And as I'm driving by, I seen another sign right here. It said Realty One, and I said, "Why are they over there?" And Krista was getting her haircut that day, and I said to her, "What's up with that sign over there?" And she was like, "Oh, we're moving." And I was like, "Oh, you're moving?" And
Well, there was another spot available though in our strip.
Yeah.
And I took a picture of it.
Yeah.
But it was like in the middle.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like ideal, but I was like, hey, like this space is available. And she's like, well, wait, I actually think the end lot is going to be available as well.
So she called.
I called.
And then he was like, come meet over here.
We looked at both spaces. We went into Realty One and we're like creeping around and we're like,
we
want
like,
this one, you know, because all the windows and so.
And then honestly, we were just like, yes.
Yes.
So,
yes. But shitting ourselves also because
Yeah.
it was just a huge build out at that point and like so much more. And we're like, can we do this?
Yeah.
You know?
And it really lined up really well. I mean,
our lease was done. We only had 1 month of overlap.
1 month, that's it. Our lease was up in August and our lease started in August.
Yeah.
So we only had 1 month. But I also got married that month. And I would not recommend that to anybody.
I got married the first time. Like that we opened, I mean, my wedding was smaller than hers because it was my second wedding. But the first time that we opened, I was planning the wedding, doing all those things. Like we got married in Florida and then we moved and she was getting married. Shit show.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
Moral of the story, don't get married. No, just kidding.
Right.
I would just say, I would say this. I would never have a big wedding again. Just, it was beautiful and it was...
But it's gone
breathtaking,
like
but it's a day and it was just a lot of work. And I mean, you know, if that's your vibe, but like we have big families.
Yeah.
And so that I really didn't have a choice, you know.
Well, unless you go away.
Yeah, unless you
I mean, my second wedding, I didn't invite, literally, we invited 50 people.
Yeah. But that's like,
It was great.
if I, you know, like
highly recommend.
would redo it, I would just say I might do a little destination.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not, I mean, even if I just redid what I did, like I would probably say, hey, let's just go. But you know what? My nun and pap are still here. And I was just like, oh, I need them. They would never travel, you know. So it was good, but I don't recommend moving a whole business. As we had to shut down, we did a lot of work. It was a lot. And moved in.
We were there like a million hours a day because we only had a very small window before we reopened again.
And then when we did reopen.
And you also, FYI, if you move a space, you have to friggin' go through the whole thing again. State board has to come back in, the whole thing. New license, the whole thing.
Yeah, you can't even like
you can't even just be like, hi, we're still Vybe. We're still Vybe. We're just over here.
No, you need a new license.
The whole thing.
So you submit a whole new thing. Yeah.
The whole thing.
So there was just a lot of.
Was it easier the second time around? Because you
We're
kind of knew
good
what to
at.
expect?
We always say like we're kind of just like we could be like a little go around and help people open salons.
We could be like Tabitha.
Not easier, no. But we're like we knew what we were doing that time.
Yeah, like we were blind the first time. The second time we were like, oh yeah, I do remember. It was like jumping. Like, I forgot, but I like, oh yeah, it was like jumping back on the bike. Like, oh yeah, we got to do that too. Oh yeah, we did. When you go on the state board, like, oh yeah, you have to click this, that, you know. So actually, one of my friends, my old coworkers, she said, what do I have to do for that? I said, honestly, wait a second, I forgot already. And I swear to God I did. But like, if I had to see it again, I might be able to like, but they change that all the time. They change their stuff too. So
their rules and.
Yeah. But and also we became the first salon, we were not visible. We were it was right like off of 22. You could see 22 from there, but like, it wasn't like a visible thing.
So unless you knew it was there, you wouldn't know
it's like a
it was
destination,
there.
Like behind like Family Eye Care or whatever.
We moved into the new space, and the first week there was 87 new phone calls that came through, I think, and we were like, people were like, "Are you new Salon? Are you new Salon?" And we were like, "No,
No.
been there for 3 years.
Yeah.
Just a new space."
But you can see it coming
Yeah.
down. What is that, like Trafford?
Oh,
You
yeah.
see it from
I watch it every
every-
morning when I
Because
come
the signs
down
on the
there.
back and
Yeah,
the front,
yeah.
which is like so
Yeah.
nice. That's why we really like that location.
Yeah.
It's convenient.
And the parking
Parking's
lot.
better.
Yeah. That's a good spot. And I've been in once or twice. And yeah, as soon as you walk in, it just feels, I don't know. It's like, it's classy, it's contemporary, it's clean.
Thank you.
Everything's like white and blacks, like like a modern look. And it just seems like it's a very quality establishment. So,
Thank you.
and that's just
Thanks.
from
We like
someone
to
who
hear
knows
that.
nothing about hair salons. And,
Yeah.
Right.
but yeah, it's a very good first representation when you walk in. So
Thanks.
you're doing the right thing
Yeah, thank
coming from me.
Yeah, we definitely put
We
our
try.
hearts into it. We try.
We have our days, but
Yeah.
I'm sure. Now, I want to ask both of you a question individually.
Yep.
And I want to start with Alyssa. What have you learned about yourself since you started this business?
Oh God.
Good and bad.
I learned that I'm resilient because I feel like there are no you got to be on all the time, and there's a lot of things I'm not like on the backside of it. I have my days. I've been through a lot of different things personally, and I feel that it taught me for me, like I don't have kids right now, and I feel like even with my dad passing and just like life things that are thrown at me, like, there's times in my life I was like, what is my purpose here? Like, or you just feel weird, or you just feel different or out of place. I've had a gray area for a long time. And I think that like it showed me that I have purpose. I have a purpose. I have a baby that's a business, and it's not a child, but it's a business. And I've put my own blood, sweat, and tears into it. And I can look at it and say, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of myself at times. I'm proud of Angela. I often like wonder in my head, like, am I making you proud up there? And I wish he could see that. But I wish he could see a lot of things over my life all the time. But for me, like in the business aspect, it gave me purpose and showed me that I can be resilient. That when life makes you want to quit, that it made me say, no, you got a responsibility. I mean, I was raised that way. You don't quit, and you don't give up, and you don't, you fall, you get back up. And so I feel like that's my get back up. You know what I mean? And that's my baby. And so I'm grateful.
Yeah. You seem very grateful.
I am.
Angela, what about you? What have you learned about yourself?
I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe similar. Like,
Same. Yeah.
I feel like for me, like starting my life kind of over at age 30, whenever went through my divorce, left with my, kind of a single mom, for a while. And like, that is for me, like my boys, like, I don't want to cry. I want to push. I want them to have a good life. I want to do what's best for them. So I'm the kind of person, like, I guess I will not give up. If I want something, like, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to make it happen. You know what I mean? I mean, I also, like, on the negative, like, I am very hard on myself. I, compare myself or, feel like I'm not good enough sometimes, but no matter what, I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to have that push, like, especially for them. Like, I want to give them a good life. Like, I want to show them how to hustle, how to work. You know what I mean?
Well, they're watching.
They're watching.
They're absorbing it. They might not be old enough right now to like fully get it.
I hope they can just see, because the divorce, it still bothers me, like sharing them and not having them every day. Living with my parents for, I think it was like 9 months before I bought a townhouse with them. And we lived in that tiny little townhouse for 5 years. And I cherish those. We still drive by. Like, I loved that time. They were so little. They were only 1 and 3 at the time. So then to our lives just evolving in these past 5 years, like, so much. Like, I just hope one day
they will
see, and, why I do what I do. There are things that I miss, that, because of the salon or work or whatever. But, you know, like, this is why I do it. I want
the sacrifice is going to be appreciated. Yeah, it might not be apparent now, but they're going to know. So I want to kind of touch on one thing you said. You said you compare yourself. In what aspect?
Just like looking around, like at her work, or, you know, it's hard, like, or people online, like
social media has made it really hard.
2024, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Reels.
You're like, oh man, I suck.
Wow, like we literally said it, like, I suck. Like, should I retire? Like, it's so hard.
And then so your client will text you and be like, I love my hair. Thank you so much. You're like, all right, maybe
wait,
it's
that
not
just
that
happened
bad.
to me.
too.
I did a client on Wednesday. I'm at work yesterday, and I get a text from her, and I'm like, fuck. Do I look at it or don't I look at it?
I was like, is she gonna tell me she hates it?
She was like, I love my hair so much. I love you. You're the best. And I was like, Jesus. But I do. I compare myself so much. Like, I always, like, I don't know why. I just never feel like, I don't want to say I never feel good enough, but I'm always just comparing to, like, try to be better, you know? Like,
I think comparing can be one of those slippery slopes, right? If you're comparing as far as like being good enough, that's where it can get kind of destructive.
for sure. And
But
you could say, like, I'm not going to do it, right? So
Yeah.
easy to be like, I couldn't do that.
But comparing to make sure that you're still on your game, and because you do want to be the
drive you a little
best,
bit.
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
So that's healthy comparison,
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the vibe at the salon too. Like, she'll be like, hey, this is the picture. What color would you use? Vice versa. All of the girls. We're very comfortable with asking each other, like, for help, or what would
Yeah.
you do? You know, I never had that in my career.
Yeah, because you don't have to feel stupid doing that. That doesn't mean
Right,
like
doesn't
getting
mean you're
another
dumb or you don't know
opinion.
what you're doing,
Right,
you know?
like,
it
there's-
could drive you to do better. And
Right.
then you try something new and you're like, oh, shit, I
Yeah.
did that, you know? So, yeah, you're right. You're right. But it's hard. It's hard to not, you know.
You know, honestly, I feel like that our industry in general is a rough one because there's like we're a dime a dozen in hairstylists, you know, and a lot of people are good at their own things, and not every hairstylist is for everybody. Okay, so that's like one thing I've learned in the last however many years is
We still lose clients.
Yeah.
There are people that you think will never leave you. You're like, that's my girl. Like, and then they're like, hey, got to cancel. My grandma's sick in Iowa. And,
yeah.
And then there's like 8 grandmas that are always sick.
Yeah. And then they're, you know, so, you know, it humbles you.
It does, but truly though, I've taught myself that let it hurt for a second, get your feelings hurt for 5 seconds, and then move on. Because guess what?
You're gonna gain new
What
ones.
I've learned is like when one door closes, another door opens. So every
They
time
say you
someone,
lose one and you gain 3.
I do. I'm telling you right now, it's like, and I think it does happen.
true.
Like I'll get hit up, like, hey,
or they come back.
yeah, or they come back, and that is
they
very
come back.
true.
Their
They
next
come back.
stylist sucked.
That's happened a lot, you know. But
Yeah.
you know what though, I've probably done, you know, someone might turn around and tell you, oh, you know, Alyssa and Angela are fabulous hairstylists, and then other people might tell you like, I didn't really like them a lot, but that's okay. Like, you didn't really have to do that. Sorry, that didn't
Time's up.
Actually, that's my
No.
old lady protonic salon. Don't get me started, okay? Let's make sure this is off.
We're keeping this in there.
Yeah.
This is great.
It's embarrassing.
Oh, well.
That's one thing about me that I don't really get embarrassed. I'll make fun of myself and then I'll just keep going. But I have blonde moments all the time. No, but I mean, and that's one thing. Like I told our like newer other assistant that's doing hair, I said, listen, you're going to get your feelings hurt so much in this industry, and you better learn how to take it.
And you're going to mess up.
You just take it and keep moving.
Hang on to that.
Like you just have to remember that you do the best that you can with what you have. And you know what? You have a bad day. You're a human being. You're allowed to have a bad day. And it's, you know, don't get me wrong. I made a lot of mistakes in the hair industry. Like when I was younger, I mean, I did a couple things and I was like, oh God, you know, and it's like, you know, everyone does it. And, I mean, there was times I was like, I gotta quit. I'm done. I'm like, I don't think this is for me anymore.
Same.
And you know, cause I just felt like I didn't do, but then there's other times I do. So
I almost did quit, actually.
I mean, I tried to microblade for a while. I was like, I got to get out of this industry. I'm going to microblade. And then I was like, this is hard too. This is really hard now.
Industry to get started in. You got to just have that push.
And there's so many of us now. Like, there's more hairstylists now than when we started. And you know, because there's so many more. And then people, they like work for themselves and
People
they
hate
get
corporate
solas
America
and,
now too.
Yeah.
A lot of things changed after COVID. Things
Oh, yeah.
got weird. A lot of people work from home
A lot
now.
of people went to beauty school that never would have done
Real
beauty
estate
in their
agents,
life,
you know, trying to just
Yeah.
like think of other avenues to make money
Yeah.
as opposed to just the 9 to 5
I
corporate.
mean, nurses do Botox now.
You feel
It's just
that.
like,
you feel that.
That's my
Major
home
shifts.
office right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, you feel that.
yeah,
Every day, I'm
Yeah.
in this room all day, every day. It's just like,
yeah,
I would love to step away from corporate America.
yeah.
You know, I've been in it for 22 years.
There's pros and cons to it, though.
I know.
You get
just
some
like
benefits
anything
that
else.
other people
Right,
don't, you know.
Right.
Yeah,
I
everyone's
do
like,
look
"Oh, you're
at
so
people work
lucky."
from home and I'm like, God.
Or working in our salon.
I could throw a load of laundry in.
I know,
Yeah.
like,
Or they get their hair done and they're working.
yeah,
and I'm like, I want to
"Oh,
be
you're
you."
getting paid while you're
We get
getting
our
your
hair done like once every 9 months, and I'd be looking ugly, and I'm like,
I know.
want to get my hair done and work on a laptop.
Literally. And then while we get our hair done, half the time we're doing each other at the same time.
Literally,
So then
we have
she's
so many
pulling a
pictures.
foil and I'm doing
She got
this.
full foils. I got foils in my head, and I'm coloring her by
And I'm like, man, imagine just to like come and like relax.
make an
or
appointment.
like get paid while you're getting
Be
your
great.
hair done. I mean, that's great.
But I love my job
But
too.
yeah, same.
Well, maybe one day you'll be with that laptop in your lap, getting your hair done when you're.
You know what? I
I
don't
could
think
never
I would
stay
do
at home
good.
though. I don't think.
I don't think I would do good with that.
No, don't.
Yeah,
I
I
also
have to have something to
need
do.
to
Take some of
move.
your soul away. Like you don't interact. I talk
Well,
to
I
my
mean, I-
fucking dogs.
A stay-at-home mom, I guess I should say.
Yeah, that would be tough too.
That would be hard. Not dissing that at all,
Yeah.
but like I think I would get depressed or
Yeah.
in a funk, you know.
Yeah.
My husband works from home a lot, and I feel like I'm like, did you leave the house today? Sometimes, like, and he's like, no, and I'm like, I would in my head, I'm like, I would lose my mind. I think,
Yeah.
you know, like,
Yeah.
I mean, being gone for 10, 12 hours a day is really hard too, but or standing on your feet all day long is also really hard. But I think like I'm not a sitter, so for me to have to sit in a chair all day, I don't think that would work. I'm a fidgety. I mean, if you haven't noticed, I'm a fidgety person.
Same,
Like
I
I don't know how to
can't
sit
move whenever
still,
I
you know. So, but I mean, that's like
Look,
to each their
the
own.
grass
and-
isn't always
yeah.
greener.
Yeah.
Like, of course, there's pros and
I'm
cons.
sure there are
and
people that look at us and like, oh, you get to like
you're
play
so
with hair all
lucky.
day,
Yeah.
and
And then we're literally like, oh, you work from home, Sean. It's like, okay,
yeah,
we get
we
it.
should all swap.
Yeah.
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 like a day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See what it's
I'd
like.
be like, take me back.
You'd be like, just kidding.
You know, I actually saw this that instant, but I shared it the other day. I don't know if I sent it to you, and it was you know, this girl was like, people think I get to play with hair all day, and then it was like all her clients, it was like hair, and she was
Oh, I
like,
saw that,
you
yeah.
know, my so and so died, and I got she was like, we hear people's stories all day long.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. I mean,
It's a lot.
imagine you're intaking a lot of personalities, a lot of personal
Stories.
and traumas, and we, you know,
People spill
and
the
you have
beans.
relationships with them too, some of them. So like you hear them and you're kind of like, oh my God,
Or someone
it
gets
affects
sick,
you,
you know,
Yeah.
you've known for a long time,
Yeah.
or they're going through a divorce, or
Yeah.
you know, it's
So you become emotionally attached to all your
Attached,
clients.
absolutely, yeah.
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 That is a lot of burden on
yeah.
you.
They
to
sit
have
down
to-
and they open up and
I had a client, and this is like, I don't even know if I should say it. Well, I'm going to say it, but I was young, and I remember the first couple years in the industry, and I used to do this lady's hair, and she was the sweetest. And she was a single mom, and she didn't have a lot of money. And I mean, this was back in the day when I was doing really cheap haircuts, almost free, basically. And she would come to me every like 6 months, and I did her hair probably 4 or 5 times. And I just like built such a bond with her. Like she would tell me like some stuff, and I was young. I was probably 20 years old or 20, I don't know. And I remember I never watched the news. I was at my nanny's house one day visiting, and they had my nan and pap had the news on. And all of a sudden, there was an accident down in Penn Hills, down in a community or whatever, and a truck. She died in a car accident. And her picture popped up, and I almost threw up I was like, oh, that's my client. Like, I cried at the table, and I'm like, I only cut her hair like 5, 6 times,
Yeah.
you know, but I shared like times with her, and I feel like you do become, there are people that like impact your life, and you like you feel like a form of like a relationship with them. And I was like, and so when things happen, like you're like affected,
yeah.
you know,
I had a client that got sick with cancer, hair fell out, grew back,
yeah.
was doing okay, got sick again. She ended up passing away. Her husband came into the salon crying, like, will you do her hair for her? Like, for her funeral, you know, like, she loved how you did her hair. And I'm like, oh my, like, it's a lot.
It
You
is.
form these attachments and they form one with you.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you know,
Yeah.
it's a lot.
Why do you think they open up so easily? Like barbers are the same way.
Yeah.
It's almost like confession.
No, literally.
Why do you think that is? Is it because there's just like nothing else
To
to
save
do?
space, maybe? I don't know. I mean, like, you do become, like, I have so many people that are like, you're my therapist, or like make a joke, but like, I know so much shit about so many people, and I don't, you know what else I think it is? Because we don't know their people. We might know
It's
their
an
people,
unbiased-
but like, if
It's
you
an
open up
unbiased.
to me, I don't know your family, I don't know your, so like,
Yeah.
I'm not, it's an unbiased
Yeah.
There's not
judgment.
There's not a deeper.
Like, I'm not going to
personal
run
connection.
to your Aunt Sally and tell
Yeah.
her what you said, because
And
I don't
honestly,
know
you're
her.
probably
you
not
know?
going to tell another person because
Right.
it's not even like your connection to say.
And we
oh,
see them
so-and-so,"
every
yeah.
6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Some clients I see every 3 weeks, you know? So you do form a relationship, and like, literally, like, there's that meme, like, and I have so many people send this to me because I can never remember what side my clients freaking part
part.
on. But it's like, my hairstylist knows I tried to poison my husband, but she doesn't remember which side I part my hair on.
Yeah, she knows my whole entire life, but she doesn't.
That's
know-
literally me.
And it's like her blow drying the
Yeah.
part. Victoria just sent that to me the other day, and
It's
I
like
was
literally
cracking
me.
up. I was like,
but
yeah,
it's true. Like, they, you know, spill the beans. And I,
Yeah.
you know, I vibe with you, kind of like vibe
Mm-hmm.
with them, you know, like, same thing. You know, they ask about my life, or they know what's going on, you know.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
so.
I personally tell a lot of my stuff to them too because sometimes we relate to each other.
Mm-hmm.
We have something going on in our personal life, so it's kind of like.
And they ask, like,
Yeah.
they're genuinely like,
Yeah, they're interested
Yeah.
in your lives.
And
yeah.
they're sitting in our chair sometimes for 4 hours. So, like, you're right.
it's a
like,
long appointment.
And then we have some people that are super quiet. And honestly, if
And
I'm
that's
in,
okay.
and I'm in my
Yeah.
zone, I'm like, good. If you don't need to talk, I'm good not to talk to because I'm focused. then.
bang the foils out while
Yeah.
you're, yeah.
But honestly, I think that, you know, it's funny that sometimes people are saying stuff and they don't realize they're in the safe space here, but then
And
there's
everybody
other
else can
people
hear
around
them.
us and we're not that good. I'm like, you know, other people can hear that, you know,
Yeah.
or I say something, I'm like, shoot,
yeah.
everybody can hear that.
Yeah. Because it's very open at
Yeah.
the salon.
Yeah.
But we try like to keep it
Yeah.
Contained the
contained,
best you can.
yeah, or like, you know, safe,
Yeah.
safe, you know.
Turn the music up.
The music is kind of loud sometimes.
I mean, that's kind of like
good.
the same way with this podcast is I have people on here that I really don't know well at all. And they're opening up about all
A
kinds
lot.
of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Confessing to like the deepest, darkest
Yeah.
parts of their lives.
I mean, that's why I like watching it. Oh my God, Alyssa. Turn it. Okay. That's kind of the whole point of like watching, because you get to kind of dig into someone, you know, you get to hear their story, and it's cool, you know, they feel
Yeah.
comfortable talking to you about
Everyone
it.
runs
Yeah.
very deep if you ask the questions.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
If they're
Give them a
comfortable
safe
enough.
space.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you make them feel comfortable and
Right.
you ask the questions.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if we were really digging into my personal life, we'd be here for a long time. But I'm not
3
gonna go
days.
there.
Same.
So yeah, I mean,
Same.
I'd probably,
Certain things, but-
I'd like to have you guys back individually at some point because,
Yeah.
and you brought up a good point. Typically, I'll dig into personal lives. It's kind of hard to do that with both of you because one of you is just going to be sitting there like waiting for the
As I said,
childhood
we'd be here for
stories to
3
be
days
over.
if I was telling my
So I did
stuff,
want to
so.
focus like kind of on
I'm
your
sure
business
everyone
and
would
stuff.
say that. You know, everyone
It's
got
okay.
a whole. Hey, when you got 35 years of life to tell,
Shit.
Yeah,
it's
a
gonna
lot
take a
happens.
while. Yeah.
So anything bad that you guys have kind of discovered about yourselves from owning this business? Anything that's sort of surfaced that you didn't realize about yourselves?
Honestly, I don't want to say like no.
I kind of want to say no.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really. I mean,
like nothing that I like comes to my mind that I could say.
I asked another guest the same question that owns businesses, and you know, they said that they're impatient, they're a control freak, they're like, not that that's all bad, but they didn't realize that about themselves until they started running their own business.
yeah. I mean, you kind of have to be.
There's
I'm
like
not impatient, but
I mean, I know you guys run a tight ship.
Yeah.
So you obviously want things done a certain way.
Correct.
Yeah.
Is it to the point where if it's not done the certain way, you guys are like,
little bit.
A little bit. I mean, like, we nicely correct things if we have to correct it. Like, that's our job. And we tell the girls, like, listen, we're not saying this stuff to hurt your feelings. We're not pinpointing, but if, we just want, like, that's our job as owners to keep everything flowing. So, like,
Right.
but we rarely have many problems, to be honest with you. But, like, every now and then you just have to tell someone, like, hey,
Yeah.
they were slacking a little bit, or hey, make sure you do this.
I will,
Or,
maybe that.
yeah.
Being a boss sometimes.
Yeah.
Hard.
That's hard.
It's hard.
You don't want to be the bad guy. You
Right.
don't want to be mean.
Right.
Like, some people
It
like
is
being
hard.
mean. I mean, we don't.
I don't.
And we even go, we're like, were we mean?
Was that too
like,
mean? Like,
you
should I
know,
have said that?
And,
Like-
and always,
But I feel like that's how you also like build them to grow.
Yeah.
I want to like be a good influence.
it's true. Yeah. And we work to the point where, like, we hope, that they see us and they're not like, they have respect for us too, because we actually put the work in too.
You
And
said the magic word,
if
respect.
we're able to like fall back a little bit, like at this point in our career, like where sometimes I'm like, well, I have someone here and I'm paying them to do this, so I'm not gonna go and get on my hand. I'm not gonna go do like I used to, because we're paying someone to do this. So but we still do things. So like if there's something that needs done, like if I'm in the back and there's something that needs cleaned and done, or if I'm in the bathroom and the bathroom
you're
needs
not too
rented up,
good
I
to
do
do
it. I
anything.
know.
Right.
When the toilet, Maria fixes everything, by the way, and I don't know if she learned this from you. I don't know. Me and
Could-
Brooklyn, the washer
Our
was
toilet
making a
would not
noise the other
flush.
day. I said, we need Maria here. She's like, Maria fixes everything. I said, Maria fixes
Our
everything.
toilet would not flush. We had people peeing on pee. Our
I tried to
landlord, I'm
fix
like
it.
texting him. He's not coming down. I'll send a plumber, blah, blah, blah. I go back. She's gone. Maria's like, oh, yeah, I fixed it. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Okay. Yeah, she does it all the time. All
She
kinds
is
of things.
very capable.
She is. And honestly, I try. I really do. I'm just not always
I'm
that
not
capable.
good.
But
I'm not good with that kind of
I would
stuff.
say though, like I'll do it though. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'll do the nitty gritty stuff. But like we getting back to the thing is respect. And I think we're friends with our girls. Like if our girls call, text, laugh with us, we go, if we've been out with them here and there. But here's like what I always say to her, like there's still a boundary here. Like we are still the bosses and we run the business. So like even if we love you, we still have to tell you sometimes if you're not holding up to what you need to do, or
Right.
vice versa.
Do you have a hard time finding that balance? Does
I
anybody
think-
try to take advantage of your kindness, do you think?
ish. I mean,
You don't
not
have to
really.
name names. I'm just saying,
No.
like, in general.
No, I just think like sometimes like they have a lot of, they're in control of their schedules.
Yeah.
They're in control of booking people.
Yeah.
So I do think sometimes they want an evening off. They want a day off. They don't
Yeah.
have anybody kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but not,
No, I wouldn't say it's like take advantage. I don't think anyone maliciously takes advantage of us. I think it's more of like they just kind of, and they're all in different stages of their life. Like we got 23-year-olds there, 24-year-olds. We got, and like,
or we have, like Cicely is young, but she's married
Yeah.
and Erica's the same age
But
and
they
she's
all
just
like to
living
go
her
out.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah. They all like to do things,
but I did that. And
Same.
it's like,
And they should,
Yeah, I want them to still have their fun in their life. Or if they're raising kids, like I want them to still be able to like see their kids and be there. Like, and it is hard. But I would there's a slack there sometimes. And I'm not saying in all the time consistently, but like I can see where life gets in the way. But I try to have grace because I know that that's life sometimes. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
but we just say, like, if we have to say something, we just like gently say it to them.
We're pretty
Pull
like,
back in a little bit, you
Yeah.
know, or whatnot. And honestly, I gotta say it to myself sometimes. I'm like, pull together, Alyssa.
Literally.
Like,
literally.
you know,
Yeah.
or,
Well, if there's too much slack, your business is going to fall apart.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You got to keep that
Right.
chain taut a
Right.
little bit,
yeah.
or else people are going to start taking advantage.
We do try to have meetings at the beginning of every year. We sit down individually for 30 minutes with all of them and, touch base on all kind of things.
Yeah.
I think one-on-one sometimes like it's a little easier than
Yeah.
a group, but
Yeah. And then we do have like, we'll have a group one like every 6 months, quarterly or 6 months. Like we'll
try to
just,
do
or we'll call it in.
continuing education,
Trying to think. I think overall, like, we don't have, I wish I could tell you we had some drama, like give your juicy story, but like, I just really
We
don't.
I mean, I do like a juicy story. Have you ever had to fire anybody?
had to fire clients, but not.
We
Like,
almost had to fire, well, that one girl that worked for us in between when Michelle was on maternity leave the first time, but she quit herself, but it was okay. It wasn't a bad quit. She was driving really far. It wasn't working for her, but it really wasn't working for us that much either. And she quit.
Pretty much everyone that has
No.
come has stayed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Or they leave on good terms.
Like when Lainey left, she just wanted to get into a makeup thing, and I mean, we
Yeah.
were devastated when she first
cried.
left us because we were like, "Oh my god!"
God.
Like she was our first assistant, and like she knew
Yeah.
the roles and the ropes and this and that. Actually, after COVID too, my mom that's when she started working. She works 2 days a week as an assistant. And originally, we only used to have one assistant on at a time, but since we've grown, we have 2 people at all times, unless like we're slower that day and like one person can handle it. But
Yeah, we've never had to fire anybody.
yeah, so
what are the grounds for basically not letting a client come back? What are some of the things that happen?
multiple no-shows,
Multiple no-shows,
yeah,
disrespect, like being nasty.
That's a shame.
Yeah. I've had one who verbally assaulted me at the old salon because she was late for her appointment, and I offered half her service. So instead of a full foil, I offered a partial. Lost her mind, was literally yelling at me as she's leaving, came back to apologize, let her back on my book. And then the guy had flu A, literally was dying on my deathbed, maybe COVID, flu A, I don't know. Had to reschedule her, and the world ended again. So that was that. Toodaloo. Like I can't have that kind of pressure and stress on me. I don't, it's just not a right fit sometimes anymore, and that's okay,
yeah.
I
mean, and like things happen in life, and
But we're also not robots.
Yeah.
We get sick. We too have things come up, and trust me, I don't want to reschedule my book. I have nowhere to put you, I'm
Yeah.
going to have to work on days off to get you back in. So I think people get excited. They want their hair done. I get it. I would be upset too, but I sometimes it's very rare
and
that
like
we
sometimes they have something coming up and we get it. We can offer, like we'll offer. She did offer to her, like, do you want so and so
I
to do
offered
it?
other
this time.
stylists. I offered different times. It just wasn't good enough.
So I mean, if that's the case though, like at this point in for her and I in our career, like I'm not. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm
we're-
okay. Yeah.
We're not fighting with you. We're
Yeah.
not like I mean, I don't think that it should be fair to anybody. Like if you're sick or whatnot. Like I mean, half the time we come to work. Like I have major headaches, and I come to work like that because if I have to reschedule my book.
Right.
I don't have anywhere to put you technically. Like it's not like I can put you back in 2 weeks.
Right.
I'm like,
well, if you're 20 minutes late to an appointment too, and I have an
yeah, like
hour
that.
marked, and I'm still offering a partial, like it's unfair to you to pay for a service that I can't fully provide.
right.
Why would you even want that?
Yeah.
So shit happens, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I have my own personal training business, and I've had to tell just one client I've worked with about 250 different people over the years. I had to say, you know what, this just is not working out. They started and stopped like 5 different times.
Yeah.
And they only last like 2 weeks each time. And I'm taking their money every time, and I start to feel like a thief.
Yeah.
So I'm finally just like,
right,
I will not be working with you now or in the future.
Right.
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 I feel like I think our cancellation policy has been our hardest for me. Even the girls, like we all have a hard time with it because we have relationships with a lot of people. So like if they cancel within 24 hours or they cancel right before their appointment, like if my client tells me I'm sick, I'm like, okay, and then I'm not gonna do it. But if you're a repeat offender, I tell the girls this too. We will enforce it if you repeat offend.
Because if they don't come, you don't get paid.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that's
we're
true.
not working. We're not making money.
right. And I said like people get like offended sometimes, and years ago when this all started, like I remember Alex had a client and that lady, and she called and she's like, it was so bad. It was all around the COVID time, like that whole year, and everybody was just doing it. Okay, and it was like no.
Everyone was
shows,
using
no
COVID as an excuse
Yes.
as well.
And
I have COVID. I can't come. Like, do you though? Or
I don't worry about for myself as much as the girls. I get more upset with the girls when they get no showed because my clients are.
our clients kind of know better.
If my clients cancel within 24 hours, 90% of the time I'm like texting somebody on my cancel list and they're like, oh yeah, I'll take it. So that's how, like we're lucky that we're at that point, but it's stressful though because I got to call Sally and call Ashley and da 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 da. You know, who can take the spot, whose appointment would fit in it. You know, but it is a pain in the ass. But overall, like the girls, and you know, it people need to understand, like if you were going to work that day and you were expected to get a pay, like you were making this you were expected to get paid. So if you are a 2.5 or 3 hour appointment and
it's now $0.
now $0, like.
Yeah.
You don't go to work to
For
not
free.
get paid.
Right.
Nobody would do that. Nobody in this world would do that. So, you know, it's only fair for us to enforce a cancellation policy. And I say to the girls, you can give, if you feel like they can get a strike, go ahead. After 1, 2, after the third time, 2 times, they have to put the full money down, you know, or whatnot. To come back.
And then that will go towards our next
towards the
appointment.
thing. Yeah. But they have to pay up front because after that many times, you're like, okay, well, this is happening again. And the third time or fourth time, you know, it's like, you got to either cut the quarter. They constantly have to prepay and they don't get their money back, you know, and it only is fair to them because why should they not get paid and have a gap in their schedule for 2 or 3 hours or even 4 sometimes, you know, but overall, I'd say there's a minimal amount of people.
Right.
So why would you be a repeat offender? Like getting your hair done, I've never done it.
You'd be surprised.
You'd be
Is
surprised.
a fun, enjoyable,
Yeah.
rewarding, you feel good, you look good thing. Why would you just keep canceling and canceling?
I don't know.
you
Money, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
I
don't
really
know.
don't know. I mean,
There are
or-
just certain types of
Or
people.
there's
There are some people that would literally drive through 6 feet of snow. They're the people that are like, on a snow day, did you get cancellations? I'm coming. Like, that no. And then there are other people that just,
I mean, we even have a text message that goes out 24 hours.
To remind you of your appointment?
When you make the appointment,
You
so
get
if you
one.
pre-book it, you get one. Then you get one 24 hours before.
and then a
Then you get an
reminder an
hour.
hour before.
And so,
We stalk you,
yeah. So I'm like, I
What's
don't
your
know.
excuse now?
right?
So, I mean,
People will dead us be like, didn't get it. I'm like, okay.
I have people that get
Lies.
the text too, and they're like when we book it, and I'm like, okay, you have it on your calendar, right? Da da da. And you have your text message. Yep, got them. Da da da. And then it's like the day before they get there, they're like, do I have an appointment tomorrow? I didn't know I had an appointment tomorrow, and I'm like, well,
Looks like you have one
you
and
do,
you're coming.
you know. And then so I mean, I mean, I don't know for her, but we get the meat sweats like every time like someone's canceling. I'm like, oh my god, where am I going to put
What am
you?
I going to do?
So I'm starting to get to the point where like, here, this is what I'm going to do. I'm
Our schedules are, I mean, I don't have anything till like August at this point.
same.
Yeah.
Like my
So you're
July
like
is full.
doctors.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
And I mean,
But
that's like
we do
working.
big gap, like we do a lot of extensions
Yeah.
and like blonding and stuff. So
Yeah.
those are 4 or 5 hour appointments.
Yeah.
You think in a 10-hour day, that's so, yeah.
I mean, and I used to be like, well, I'll just come in on my day
Same,
off
I'm
and
not
do
doing
it.
that anymore.
And I'm
not.
getting to the point now where it's not, if I genuinely have nothing to do and I can do it, like I will. But it's also not on a life work balance. It's not good for your health. Because it was your day to like, I don't really have big life plans, but like there's still things like I might want to get like
It's nice to just
caught up with my
wake
own
up
life.
and not have something to do.
Yeah.
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 So-
Not think.
And it's
Not
just
to
like
sprint to the
not
salon.
Yeah.
right that we would have to like
Right.
take a day that we have off and come in or something,
Right.
But I did used to do that for a long time, and it just got
Too much.
too much. Yeah.
Well, it's good that you're aware of that and you're able to actually just choose yourself. Because a
Yeah.
lot of people just can't say no. They'll do
Yeah.
anything for
I had
anyone.
I was a person like that for a
Yeah.
long time. I didn't know how to say no to anybody.
I get low key still get like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
Like, all right, well.
But I am learning to be able to just say I don't have it available right now, and it's not a personal thing. You know
I've
what I
been
mean? It's just-
offering like to the other girls.
Yes.
Like my
Okay.
one client, she's been in and out of town. Her daughter is sick. She texts me, I genuinely don't have anything. I'm like, you know what? How about, you see this person, Before I'd be like, I have to do her. Like, oh my
Yeah.
God. Now I'm like, you know what? It's okay. Like, I don't
Yeah.
have anything,
What's the biggest screw up that you can think of right off the cuff? Like, what's the one that comes to mind?
Oh, I got
I don't even know if I
it.
can talk about
You got
mine,
it?
so
Let's hear it.
My armpits are sweating.
Me
just thinking
too.
about it.
I really don't know if I can
So,
say it.
what did you
Should
do?
I say it? Should I? Fried someone's hair off with bleach on the scalp.
Oh, on the
Wow.
scalp. Yours was on the scalp.
Like, the hair was gone.
Not all of it.
But I did that too.
Some of it, yeah.
I certainly was retiring after that.
It was very bad. Same.
I cried for 4 days.
I mean, Yeah, didn't you have a similar experience? It was in a foil though, right?
Nope, it was all over the head. Yeah, back when there was no bonders and no anything, and she told me she had no
I put
color on
her-
her hair and she had box dye on her hair, and I'm like looking at it, I was like, why is that green?
I put her under the dryer.
Why is that green on the? Why is
With
there
a
a
cap.
green fluid? Oh, you did that, and then it came off.
I mean, fuck my life, honestly.
mean,
Can I
literally.
say that
Yeah,
on here?
I mean-
Oh,
it
mine
was,
melted off in the sink too.
I still
It was
get
like-
nightmares about it.
Me
I
too.
mean, I was very new.
You new hairstylists are very lucky for the education and the technology.
But guess what? I learned from that shit.
Yes, same.
We'll never do that again.
Ever.
Ever.
Right.
Ever. And I mean, technology is better now. There's more education. I think, I don't know what I was thinking, but that's, you live and you learn.
You live and you learn. That was definitely. I would think I was like 20 or 21 years old.
Yeah.
I
Probably
think I was-
same.
yeah.
And that's okay. It's
It was
okay
when
to
everybody
fail.
was getting their hair bleached out, and I was just like, "Why
Yeah.
is this happening to me?"
Yeah, it
but
was-
also, if someone bleached my hair and it got a little,
I mean,
it
yeah,
got a little
same.
wonky. Thank
Beauty
God Brazilian
school.
blowout came out at that time, and then it smoothed it down a little bit.
Beauty
but-
school, I was so dumb. I was like, I'm not going to be that person. And then remember when like black underneath was really cool with like the chunky highlights? I had like black hair. And then I was like, yeah, I want to go blonde. And then my hair fried off too. So it's cool.
You pay it forward. You got what you deserve.
So I
Yeah.
mean, definitely had accommodating to do after that mess up in my
Yeah.
life. I was definitely giving out a lot of free hair products.
I'm very
and-
anxious about that now because I do a lot of blondes. And it's very hard keeping them where they want to be with keeping them healthy. It makes me sick.
Yeah.
It's like a Olympic sport.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's a lot of pressure for
It's a
you
lot of
guys.
pressure.
It's
Like,
a
we
lot
have
of pressure.
chemicals on
Hair is a
people's heads.
very, I would think, important
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
especially for women, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And if you fuck someone's hair up,
Yeah, I mean, it's no joke.
Literally.
People get upset. People will get upset. I will get upset.
I will get upset. Yeah.
yeah.
But I will say,
Luckily, I mean, it's been a long
not
time
like
since I
stuff
can
like
say,
that,
like, I,
you know. But sometimes, like, you put color on someone's head or a toner, you're like, oh, that did not take how I thought it was going to take. I got to retone it, or I got to do this.
That's a
And
constant every day.
Yeah.
You go home. I saw a TikTok and it was like, she left her hair. And then, like, your conscience is like, did she though?
yeah,
I'm like, wait.
because you're like, did I love her hair?
Did I? Yeah, like,
But there's
just
been-
constantly critiquing
There's
yourself.
also been times where I've done someone's hair and I'm like, this is fire. This is so good. And then they're like, I don't know if I like the
Yeah,
toner.
that
and
too.
I'm like,
That too.
it's like,
Bitch.
oh man, I thought it was great. I actually thought I was like, maybe I'm colorblind because like I
Or
think
do you
like,
ever like take a picture of your work and then you go to post it later?
Yeah.
You're like, that's fucking ugly.
you're like that's just not a good picture. That's not a good
Really
angle.
not-
We need to
Don't like that.
switch that.
Yeah.
Oh, the light's bad.
Yeah.
We need
So,
one of these lights. Actually.
We've talked a lot about a lot of good things about your salon and your business, and with everything all good, there's some bad, right? Have you guys ever heard any like negative things about your business or yourselves personally that kind of come with your success?
A few little things.
Yeah.
I personally have not heard it, but I've been told
Yes. Same.
from either somebody else that said, oh, they said like, oh, you have to have blonde hair. You have to be.
You have to have extensions to work at Vybe, which
Yeah, and I don't have extensions.
let me
so-
touch. There's 4 people out of like 12 that
Yeah.
have weave. Okay, me included because I'm bald. So leave me alone.
That's okay.
My kids, I'm bald.
That's
after
what
having
marketing.
kids. Okay.
You're marketing.
Yeah, but I also do extensions, and I like to be able to show people.
Yeah.
That's how I sell. But yeah, only like 4 people out of 12 have weave. So that's a lie.
Like out of all 12, there's only 4 people. And
That's a lie.
not everyone is blonde. So
Not
I don't
everyone
know.
is blonde. We
Someone
have a
said
lot of
that.
brunettes.
I have to be blonde to be
I'm not
there,
even
so-
really that blonde anymore.
And honestly, we don't even plan to look alike. Or
we dress alike a lot.
But we don't even plan it. Like we
We
come
come
into
to work and we're like, are you joking? Like literally
Yeah.
the same outfit.
Literally.
But yeah, I
It's 'cause
think
we're on the same-
people like think, a certain thing about, but like, I think if they came to the salon, they would
Yeah.
see it's not like that,
yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
My old salon that I used to work at, same thing. I remember going back to my beauty school for something, and I told her I started working there, and she's like, I heard that you have to have a gym membership and work out every day to be able to work there. And I'm like,
Yeah.
literally no one does that, I
Yeah.
think people just like to do a lot of this,
And they just have like a outside vision. They see like from the outside. And I mean, I feel like people do that for, it's just a natural thing sometimes,
absolutely
and
is.
It's easy to do.
yeah. And I mean, I've heard people, like even my girls, I've heard their clients talking, and I've heard them say, I thought I was going to be like nervous in here, but this is awesome. And I love it here. I'll be back. And then that for me is so satisfying as like a
I also
business
try to like
owner.
really speak to everyone's clients too.
At
I
least
want
smile, say
hello,
hi.
thank
Yeah.
you so much. Like I genuinely appreciate everyone
Yeah.
being there so much. Like so I do try like to say
Yeah.
hello to people.
I always say if people think I'm ignoring them, I'm not. I just am very like I have an
Yeah.
attention span thing.
Yeah.
So like sometimes I'm just like, "Ugh." But I always say hi to everybody as much as I can. And
But yeah, when we are
smile.
working, we are in the zone, you know.
Sure.
So we're not being mean. If
No,
anyone
it's
thinks
never to
that.
be
You're just-
mean.
you're just
I-
busy.
I'm like
I have
never
RBF
going-
too.
I heard.
I have RBF.
She has RBF, and
I do.
I can't hear.
I
So
can't help it. I'm really nice. I promise.
You are
It's just
very
my
nice.
face. I've had it my whole life.
Yeah. So, babe, sorry, but I'm going to tell the story that you told me. So Maria told me, I think it was, I don't know, a couple weeks after she started helping you guys out. She was like, Ange scares me. She never smiles. She always looks. And then she started to kind of like, I guess, kind of fuck with you a little bit. Like she'll stop and like smile at you until you smile back or something like that. But, you know, you are in the zone, I'm sure. You know, you have a lot on your mind. You're
I
typically
smile. I'm offended. I'm gonna beat her ass when we go downstairs.
doing that's fine.
she said, "It's like it's
She-
a mouth smile. That's all." Yeah,
I don't know. The
I
one
don't
day,
think I'm smiling either.
the
I
one
don't
day,
know.
like it was literally raining sideways. This bitch is like, Ange, you know your like windows are open in your car.
She
I was
told me.
like, I literally saw Jesus met me. I was like, oh my God. And I was like, okay, you're going to die. I love her.
She brings a lot
I
of...
do have RBF, but I'm really, really, really nice. I've gotten it my whole life. And actually that's an insecurity of mine that really bothers me, that people think that I'm not nice. Like I'm not like that at all.
Yeah.
So it does bother me.
And I wasn't trying to make you hurt your feelings by
Yeah.
telling you that story, but
Yeah.
it was more, you know, supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, we all have our insecurities,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but
But-
I'm very. I've gotten my whole life. Oh, I thought you were a bitch until I met you. You're like so cool. I'm like,
Great.
try.
Yeah.
I mean, I can be a bitch if you push me to that point, but I'm not. I promise.
Yeah.
sometimes
But yeah, I mean, that's why...
you rub me the wrong way. That's all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's why I wanted to talk to you guys, because I think there's a reputation out there about maybe you or your business, and I did want to give you guys the chance to speak your side and have people get to know the real you behind, you know,
Yeah.
away from the chair or away from the cars and all those external things.
I mean, we didn't
right?
always have nice cars.
Yeah.
I mean, we
But
we
you
always had nice
fucking
cars,
worked
but
for
we,
them.
we didn't always have
So
the cars that
hard.
we have now. I should say.
Literally so
I always
hard.
liked my cars, but I never had, you know,
Yeah. I mean,
certain
literally,
what I have now. But like, I mean, it's not out of reason necessarily.
isn't that the goal in life
Yeah.
though? To work your friggin' ass off to live the life that you want, and then you finally get there, and then people are like, "Oh my God."
You know what it
Yeah.
is, guys? It's jealousy.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like our parents bought us those cars, and it's not like not even our husbands bought us those cars.
No.
We pick and do our thing.
And it's
I mean,
okay to
like, yeah.
have nice things.
And honestly, even people that their husbands do buy their cars or their
for
parents or
you,
whatever,
yeah.
that's fine. Like,
Yeah.
do your thing, you know. But
I think
no,
that's,
we
like,
didn't. But it's,
For me, which I get confused, like, why do you care?
Yeah, why- I don't know.
Because I don't
Yeah.
like. Good for you, you know. Like
Yeah.
if you,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, some people might look at them and be like, oh, they must be doing well. Like, I get that because I've thought that about people too. Like, not in a mean way, just because I like, oh yeah, she must be doing good. Like, you know, because you see their life on the outside, but there's another side to this life. Like, it isn't. I mean, I don't even do my hair half the time. Okay, and I, you know, so for me, it's like I like the simplicity that I've become, as far as my everyday. Like, I don't feel that I have to like. I don't over feel like I have to impress somebody sometimes or this and that. And like, I just am what I am at this point. But I will say that it feels good sometimes to get nice. Or sometimes I go to get in my car and I'm like, wow, I'm so blessed I get to get in this nice car. Like, you know what I mean? Or,
Same.
you know, because not everyone
I'll
does
say that to
that.
Bo. Like I'll walk out of my bedroom and I'm like,
This is
"Babe,
my
like,
house,
this
like-
is my house. Like I'm so thankful and grateful. Like that
Yeah.
I am able. You know. But then on the flip, like still have to hustle.
Yeah.
I want to plan for
Yeah.
retirement. Like
Yeah. That's,
You know, like that could all be gone in a second. So take it for
I mean,
granted.
and
you know?
everyone's season of life is different. What they have, you know. And here's the thing: one thing I have learned from a loss of people in my life, from death, from even relationships, whatever it is you can have something and it can be taken away from you like this. So you could blink your eye and you could just not have it. Like something can happen in your life and it can turn around. So if you can have it this season, or you can embrace it this season, or you can grow it that season, and then you have seasons of rain and you have seasons of sun, and you know, I feel like it's okay to have that, you know what I mean, and live that way, you know, and like some people are materialistic, or they do have that side of them, and that is what they care about and surface on. But then some people have,
Yeah, there's closet millionaires.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and that's okay too.
Driving
you
a
know,
Honda Civic. Nothing against Honda Civics,
No.
but yeah,
right? And that's
$1 million
okay too.
in the bank.
And
Yeah.
honestly, I think that like those things don't really matter in real life. When you
Yeah.
think about your health, when you think about your family, when you think about what's inside of those homes, what's inside
I
of
would
that
trade
car,
it all for
I would like this business and this life that I have, like whatever. I mean, I live in a little townhouse. Like we didn't build a house yet or do anything like that. Can we? Yeah, we can. But like we live moderately at home right now because I don't like anything about it. But that's another story. But you know, like I don't. I would take everything that I've built and what I've done, and not that I would ever throw it away, but to get my father back, to have my life. I mean, it's weird. Like I say, it's weird that I catch myself saying like I want my old life back, and when I think about that, I think it's because I mean that I want what my family was prior to it, people getting old and dying and getting sick and dying, or the way that people were before they had falling outs, or whatever it is in my personal life. You know, I miss some of that stuff because now the season I'm in has been like, you know, I have things, but like things don't even always matter. You know what I mean? Like, they really actually don't matter at all. But do I feel like I worked my ass off to have that shit? Yes, I do. So do I feel like I'm comfortable getting in whatever car I want to get in, no matter what somebody says? Absolutely.
Amen. As
So-
you should. And like you said, why do people care?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Seriously.
I don't know.
Right.
It doesn't affect you.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but you know.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. This is the first time we're going to try this. You're both going to arm wrestle me at the same time.
Okay.
I don't know how this
Should
is
I
going to
move
work.
this?
Yeah. I don't know how this is going to work. Here, come this way with it. This is going to be so interesting. All right, Alyssa,
really gonna make me
scoot
do this?
forward.
1 week
Yeah.
ago, so
I haven't been in the gym in a couple of years, so let's see how this goes.
I don't know how we're going to do this. One of you's going to push and one's going to pull, maybe.
At least we're both right handed. I got a bad neck. I gotta watch.
This is so funny.
Hold on. I haven't arm wrestled since I was a kid.
yeah, we're gonna push. We got this.
All right, ready? Go. What's your most favorite thing about each other?
Oh.
You know I don't like to lose.
What's your favorite thing about Ange?
She just knows what I'm thinking all the time.
And what's your favorite thing about Alyssa?
She's always
All right.
okay.
Almost. That was sneaky.
My favorite thing about Alyssa. There's too
shoulder's
many
out.
things.
Swing your thing back.
My shoulder's out. So
That was
I
interesting.
gotta get my protonics.
Did we lose?
It was even.
Yeah, we'll call it a tie.
Truth.
So wait, you answered. What's your favorite thing about Alyssa?
I feel like Alyssa is always positive about stuff, or like you're like I always say I'm the mean one. Like I feel like she's like just like takes things like, you know, like okay, like, you know, I mean, her and I have literally never gotten into an argument, if you can believe it or not. Like we've snapped at each other a little bit here and there, but we literally have never even fought at all.
And don't take offense to this, but girls suck. I mean,
Literally
they
suck.
do.
Yeah.
Girls suck.
In this industry, especially.
But the fact that you, as co-business owners, you guys essentially have gotten along since you started this, that's That's
Yeah.
pretty incredible.
I mean, we really, like she said, like we've never really been into like a fight. Like we've had a couple disagreements here and there, or like a little bit of like a, okay, whatever. But then like, we're like, okay, we just like know each other, so you move on from it. It's not like that, you know.
It's like not worth it
It's-
to me. Like,
Yeah.
I value her friendship and my relationship with her.
It's the
on a
respect
huge level,
too.
yeah.
Like we're never gonna like cross, like you don't cross those lines. We just agreed from the beginning, like not to cross lines like
Yeah.
that, because that's how people sink their ships, you know. And I think that like
Yeah.
having,
I feel
again,
like we like I know like I'm not like I don't hide stuff from her. Like we're very like we just
yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, like it's so weird.
it is like a sister like relationship. You know what I mean? Like I talk to her more than I talk to my husband.
Same.
Honestly, sometimes,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
probably not healthy.
Well,
I know, but like we have a lot to talk about because of the business, but then we also have like a friendship too. So like
Right.
whether we're talking about the business or whether we're talking about
Or
like,
we're sending stupid reels.
yeah, or
memes, you
if
know.
we ever do anything in life, like you know what I mean. But like we do talk a lot because of that, you know what I mean. And also we're with each other every single day.
Yeah.
I feel like most of the time, I'd say like 99% of the time when Angie and me come together and like something's in the like, whether it's with the business or what we need to do or or an employee or this, we both are already on the same page. Like I say it or she says it, we're like, yeah, like,
Yep.
you know what I mean? Like it's,
like finish each other's
we, like,
sentences
know.
sometimes. Yeah.
you know what I mean? And then like, I take turns being the mean one sometimes too.
I mean, like you say it, I said something mean last time.
I do say stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
I do. I mean,
Neither of us are mean. Like, let's be honest.
no,
I mean,
I'm like one of those people. I try not, and I've really grown in a lot of ways in my. I think I have grown in a lot of ways of my. I don't want to say like just the way I react. I mean, I still react sometimes, but like. I'm always like that person. Like I'm chill until you push me to that level, and then it's not the line. You don't want to cross that because then I'm a different person. But like I really feel like no one's ever really got me ever to that point. You know what I mean? So I like that. You
Who's
know what I
gonna be
mean?
the first?
Keep me in my character. That's all I'm gonna say. Like keep me in the character.
I'm kind of curious. Like, I
Yeah.
kind of want to test it. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Before we wrap up, do you have any questions for me?
No, thanks for having
How
us
do you
on
feel
here.
about having us on here?
Yeah, how did
How
it
what?
go? The
I thought it was
first,
great.
did it go?
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Were we
Again,
interesting at all?
yes, you're very
it's gonna be a
interesting.
snooze fest.
Are people gonna be like, "Wow, they suck"? I really didn't care anything
Womp
about that.
womp.
I mean, honestly, I don't care.
We had no like fun
Honestly.
juice. Like we didn't have.
I mean, we have fun juice, but
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do want to have you both back individually
yeah.
because I want to get to know you behind the business. Your husband is going to be coming on.
Yeah.
Is he?
Apparently, you have a very interesting story,
We
and
do.
he does too.
Yeah. He has a really good story to tell, I think. I mean, better pour some bourbon for him. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
he's had some.
Yeah.
But yeah, our story is crazy too.
Yeah, I
How
can't-
met
I can't
him
wait
and
to
everything
hear
like
it.
that. Yeah.
And you kind of alluded to some of your personal struggles and some of the more dark times that you've had. I'm sure there's some good times that come with that too.
Yeah.
But I want to get to know more about that too. So,
Yeah.
I'm down.
but thanks again.
This has been fun.
Yeah. It was fun.
I hope you guys enjoyed their episode, and I hope you watch one of these episodes too. And I hope you subscribe and go follow them individually. Alyssa, Vybe Beauty and Brow Bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Got beauty and brow bar.
Yeah.
if you need your hair done, they're the ones to do it. And I will see you
Got
on the
you.
next episode of Barbells and Bourbon. Peace.